Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
We are all Richard Allen!
You pieces of shit got to the jury, didn't you?
Did you hear what I said?
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains? You know, that's just one step above stupid.
Huh? It's a house!
Okay, I guess the camera isn't facing the dogs. Oh well. I guess they don't get to see it. Oh well. Maybe next time. Alright, what's going on? Hope you guys saw the last video that I put out. Looks like we're going to have a small audience again tonight. Just seems to be the way it is when you start off with that. Right now, if you don't have 150 people, it's going to be a slow one. That's how it works. I've got it figured out. So they had more DNA evidence on him. I don't. They got enough. That's all that matters. See, now we have 93, so he went backwards. Wish they had more DNA evidence on him. Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I wish there was a bucket of DNA in the house and he cut his hand and it was all over the place. Yep. I wish he stopped at every single surveillance camera and had his license plate sitting on it. Yeah, I haven't seen Sirius Black in a long time. Crazy. But, yep, this is just like every other night, you guys. A normal show. So if you guys can help support the channel, that would be awesome throughout the show. That's how the only way to make the goals and to keep on doing what we've been doing over the years. Alright, it's every single night. And that's the only way to make it happen. Alright, let's see. A couple random updates. Yeah, that case that we talked about the other night, well, it's the Meline Sodo case and her music teacher, and there's more information on him. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Italo Brett Bonini, a former Orange County music teacher, will remain in jail. Hey, welcome, Eden Fox. After a federal judge said on Monday that she was extremely disturbed after hearing new details involving his recent arrest relating to enticing children to perform sex acts online. During a Monday detention hearing at the U.S. Middle District Federal Courthouse, prosecutors revealed new details through an FBI task force agent with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office who gave testimony on the accusation. Bonini, 25, we actually have he was even interviewed during the investigation of Meline Sodo, being her music teacher. What's going on? Where is that playing from? Oh, over here.
But then we have a clock.
That's wild. I started playing a video where my music was playing. Gotta get the music back open. Ominous impact. I have to have that playing just a little, just like that. The agent said when Bonini was caught, he told investigators he was disgusted with himself and also told them he liked talking to kids because he could control them. When trying to get evidence from Discord about Bonini online chats, Discord produced 700 chats that he had. It sounds like Keegan Kline now. Based on Discord information, the agent learned that Bonini approached the chats the same way. He would immediately ask the kids their ages. He would apparently show off his penis and then entice kids to show their penises and would offer them video game currency. It was at this point that Bonini's mom, who was also in court, started crying. Hey, thanks, Cheryl, for gifting a membership to Kimberly. Other notes from WES2 reporter Paula Tristan Aruda, who was present at the hearing. The agent testified that based on the information, what Bonini told them, what was in the affidavit and criminal complaints, he used the name Adrian on Discord. I found that. Said he was 16 years old and said he lived in Georgia. Bonini chatted with the 8-year-old victim on January 12, 2025 and told him to move somewhere more private to video chat. The FBI in the process of identifying about 20 victims as they continue to review Discord. I mean, it's so crazy because, I mean, this guy likes like prepubescent boys. And he just happens to be Meline Sodo's teacher, you know. She wouldn't fit his profile. But, I mean, that just shows you how many predators there are out there. And you guys, listen, in the future, you know how they have all the letters now? Hey, you know, all the letters and the acronyms and everything. And I've told you guys a million times, and I'm accurate, that it might have been halted quite a bit because of the election. But the way things were going, there was a movement out there to try to normalize pedophiles. And they were going to be sort of a protected class, and as long as they're not acting, as long as they're not acting, they should be able to be your kids' teachers and everything. I mean, your kids, teachers and coaches, etc. And you can't complain, and you would be made to feel guilty if you said anything. Okay, but I think this election kind of slowed down that process a little bit. Thank God. Well, guess what, you guys? Right now on Super Chats, we are at 0. So if you guys could please help support the channel and get things going on the show, it kind of gets things going. And, I don't know what to tell you, but it's really discouraging when you're doing a show and you feel like that the people watching haven't felt like you deserve anything. It's a strange feeling. Anyways, right here it said, the agent also stated that the mother of a student at Hunter Creek Middle School is coming with their child because she has concerns. That student also took private lessons with Bonini. Ah, boy. The defense then called up Bonini's aunt, Dr. Zeta Brett, to testify. She offered her place in Bonini. I'm not sure what that means. Her place if Bonini were to be released. Jeez. But there's no way in hell you can let that guy out, man. You find a connection to the internet and start trying to make things disappear. Hey, there you go. I feel like I exist now. Thanks, Cheryl. It's one of the slowest starts I've seen. And by the way, I was going to do just random talk show on this, but I got this long email from somebody, and they went through and talked about all the stuff that they were thinking in the case, and I thought, wow, that'd be kind of interesting to just play the audio from the email and then stop it and pause it and talk about various elements of this and see what we think. it's a roadmap to discuss, right? Thank you, Allie Cake and Michelle H. All right. Do you guys want me to turn off the dancing tacos and stuff on the screen?
Ocean wave,
and the audio that
wave,
pops up? I can. Let's see. Sometimes it sort of interrupts what you're trying to hear. I'll tell you what, if one of the bigger ones, like a dancing taco or cat eye, I'll turn it back on. Well, thanks, Daisy. Hopefully you guys got a chance to watch my video that I put out today. And I think, the problem is a lot of my videos haven't been seen by the conspiratorial nutters. Let me just say this. There's no logical reason for somebody to believe Kohberger is completely innocent. There's no chance. Okay? So when you sit there and go, oh, he's innocent. I mean, wow, where is that coming from? It's absolutely crazy. Who is selling you the bill of goods? It's wild. Gray, you're just a shill for the prosecution. Well, you know what? When a prosecutor's put out probable cause, I give deference to what they're saying, and I look at it, and I go, oh, wow. Okay, now if something shows up that makes me go, wow, that was bogus, like what happened in the Justin Ross Harris case originally. There was so many different things that were just totally ridiculous, and even in the Jodi Arias case, I saw that I believe Jodi Arias did it and everything, but the prosecutor intentionally changed the sequencing. And I can prove it. Like he literally just right there can change the sequencing to counter Jodi's self-defense technique or theory, whatever. Hey, thanks, Madeline Brewer and Chicken Wing. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Sherry. I don't know what that means. Your sentence. Oh, there's also another thing that I wanted to talk about just for a second. Not that one. This is kind of creepy right here. Look at this. An Indiana high school student has been accused of plotting mass shooting at a school near Indianapolis on Valentine's Day. Mooresville Metropolitan Police detectives received information from the FBI about 7 p.m. Tuesday regarding a person who was potentially planning school shooting at Mooresville High School. The FBI identified the student as Trinity J. Shockley, 18, as the suspect. Mooresville police detectives, along with Morgan County Sheriff's Office detectives and Mooresville school police officers, executed a search warrant at Shockley's home. During their investigation, the investigators learned that Shockley planned a mass shooting at Mooresville High School on Friday. On Thursday, the Morgan County Prosecutor's Office filed charges against Shockley for conspiracy to commit murder and intimidation. Shockley is currently being held in Morgan County Jail without bond. The suspect's father was in possession of an AR-15 magazine, guns, and an armor vest, but they were not kept in the house, police said. The suspect claimed in a Discord chat that the shooting would be Parkland Part 2, and the original tip came into Sandy Hook tip line. Shockley told investigators they were joking, but then stated they would take their friend, who was their crush, and wanted them to die together. Detectives said 18-year-old suspect had an obsession with convicted killers Nicholas Cruz and Dylan Roof. But those are people to really look up to, huh? Well, thank God, they caught this person first. Let's see. Each time Trinity would try to receive mental health assistance, her father, Timothy Shockley, would deny her the access to the resources, according to court records. I wonder if that'll lead back to charges against the dad. That's wild. Anyways, they got it. Just thought I'd throw it out there. I mean, even women lately can be, or girls can be, school shooters. I mean, unbelievable. And it used to be sort of a place that only guys would do it. I guess they're taking women's lib to the next level, huh? Now we can't open doors for women anymore, and now they're doing school shootings. Unbelievable. Hey, thanks, Richard Watts. Hey, by the way, if you're a woman out there, don't you appreciate when a guy opens a door for you? You know, like if you're walking and they kind of go rush ahead real quick and open it for you, even if you don't know the person. Go ahead. Let's see. I mean, it's pretty amazing how, like, that sort of changed over the years. Like, man, I don't even know how that happened. Yeah, see, I appreciate a door being open. There you go, see? All right, we have no coffees tonight, you guys. We need some coffees coming in. People almost seem shocked about it now, you know? Like, you go to a store, you run up there real quick and open the door for somebody, and they look back like, oh, wow, okay, thanks. Jesus, what a joke that's become something that's not common. It's wild. I actually, if a woman tries to open the door, I kind of go, oh, nope, I'll open it and then let them in. I know, I just sort of feel like that's the way it's supposed to be, you know. Yeah, I don't like it when a woman opens the door for me. It's kind of like they're opening it, then I'll hold it for them, and then they can go in, then I'll go in. You know, is that bad? It just doesn't feel right. I don't know what the deal is there, but let's see. All right, so we're going to now switch over to, Vinny actually sent me this link to Idaho Statesman from yesterday. Maybe this is what some people might have been talking about. God, that's so small. Jesus. Go like that. No, I don't think my bots are working. Hold on. Hi, Grand Freaks, Mothra said. Right. That's exactly right, Cindy. It's tell him he's right, okay? One thing I don't care for is some complaining if I'm upset. I'm in trouble. I don't know what that means. All right, here we go. Detectives who investigated the Moscow college student homicide found blood at the crime scene from 2 still unidentified males. Attorney, well, when they say crime scene, it means the house, okay? Not like right there in the bedroom, you know, or either bedroom. See, it's kind of a, you know, misleading, immediate statement right out of the bat. Well, Gray, the house is the crime scene, Gray. Okay, yeah, sure, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's like a blood on a handrail that's dried or older or something like that. I mean, you know how many parties they had at that house? Detectives who investigated the Moscow college student homicides found blood at the crime scene from 2 unidentified males. Attorneys for the man charged with the murder revealed at a recent hearing, hinting to a possible legal defense strategy at trial. Right, it's going to be, the defense strategy is just sort of like, isn't it reasonable doubt that you know, an actual killer would have, you know, maybe cut their own hand and left the blood there, and our client didn't, and there's just touch DNA on the knife sheath? You know, I mean, that could have came from anywhere, the touch DNA on the knife sheath, but there's actual tangible blood. Why would somebody be bleeding at the house? So I actually think the prosecution should go ahead and do FGG, IgG on those 2 samples and determine exactly who the blood is, and have a plausible, you know, it's going to be from a party or something like that at some point. You know, there was a party at the house and somebody cut their finger slightly and there's a little tiny bit of blood on there, and it's been there for a long time and they collected it, and that's what it's going to be. It isn't going to be that there's this other killer unless Kohberger wants to admit that there was another person there. It says an unknown individual blood DNA was discovered and on a handrail in the off-campus home. So the handrails in the house are really just the steps that go upstairs and then the steps that go from the first level up to the living room, as we've shown, right? So I guess we can just load that sucker up again. And so, right, that's the front door of the house. You come in, and just to the left is the stairs. There are stairs that go up, but I don't go there first. All right, so now there's the front door right here, and then there's these stairs. So there's a handrail right there. All right, and now right here, the steps that go up, there's a handrail right there on the left, and there's a handrail right there on the left. So one of those. One of these would be more, sort of interesting. The one downstairs wouldn't be interesting at all. Like this one. It just, the killer didn't come up that way. Still don't have any coffees, you guys. No coffees. Okay, another unknown blood sample was found on a glove that police located just outside the home. Brian Kohberger led to, but they didn't locate it. It was like found a week later by a YouTuber. Brian Kohberger's lead defense attorney told the court, and it was just right by a garbage can. Who the hell knows where that came from? Could have even been one of the people working on the house, inside doing stuff, and then, threw their garbage out. They had gloves on and then threw it. I mean, it's unbelievable. Brian Kohberger's lead defense attorney told the court late last month. In the bed of one of the stabbing victims, police said they also found what many regard as the case key piece of evidence. See, they're making it seem like that's sort of like the, it's not as significant as the other information, the other blood found. But, they also found this. So, you think it sucks the way some of these people write these articles, like they go, oh, yeah. And, also in the bed, don't forget this, they found, a key piece of evidence, a leather sheath for a fixed blade knife. During processing, DNA was discovered on the sheath and later matched directly to Kohberger, police and prosecutors said. They brought up the other stuff first, like that was more important. Hey, Timothy Cecil, Oogla Boogla. 54 months, jeez. It's a hell of a long time. What is that, 5 years and 5.5 years? Or 4.5 years. Let's see. In those same filings, the defense said DNA from 2 additional males was found inside the home, as well as the male DNA found on the glove outside. Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson told the court at a hearing in August 2023 that those DNA samples were not uploaded to try to identify them through the FBI National DNA Database, known as CODIS, because they were not eligible based on the criteria. So maybe they didn't have enough DNA, or just maybe there's criteria on where the DNA was found. Like, for example, if you find DNA like on a handrail that's not directly, you can't say that's directly related to a crime, can you just sort of start uploading things into databases? Or does it have to be specific, like the blood on the knife sheath, likely the weapon that was used to kill them? Yes, I don't know what when they say criteria, it would have been cool to have them describe what that was. He told the court at a hearing that, they didn't test that because it didn't fit the criteria. It was not publicly known until last month, court hearing, that at least 2 of the unknown male DNA samples came from blood. And the type of the third male DNA, sample remains unclear, as does, let's see. It was not publicly known until last month, court hearing, that at least 2 of the unknown male DNA samples came from blood. So that was the glove, and then on the... Yeah, so we'd already heard about this, but I'm wondering if people are... Those are the 2 samples, and people are sort of conflating, and now there's 4 samples. You know what I mean? I'm kind of wondering if those are the same 2 that they've always been talking about. It was not publicly known until last month court hearing that at least 2 of the unknown male DNA samples came from blood, and the type of the 3rd male DNA, so I guess there is, sample remains unclear, as does if its source has since been identified. I don't know what that sentence means. But police did not disclose the unidentified blood DNA samples to a magistrate judge. So what? It doesn't matter, right? Because the DNA on the knife sheath that led to Kohberger would trump those DNA samples. In December of 2022, when they sought a warrant for Kohberger's arrest, defense attorney Ann Taylor alleged at last month... Hey, thanks, Mothra, up there. At last month's hearing, that prosecutors did not dispute. Let's see, Ann Taylor alleged... Okay, let me see what they did. In December 2022, they sought a warrant for Kohberger's arrest. Defense attorney Ann Taylor alleged at last month's hearing, and prosecutors did not dispute, the decision amounted to detectives intentionally omitting the information to the judge for her determination of probable cause and should disqualify some evidence. Why should it disqualify anything? You know, that the other DNA sample, you could go through that whole house with a DNA swab and find 700 people's DNA in that house. Okay, and I bet there's blood in other places. They just tested the handrails because those are likely something somebody touches. I bet you if you swab the entire house, there were other little samples, a droplet of blood here and a droplet of blood there from some random people, because they had sort of rowdy parties at this house forever. Okay? So it's just amazing that people are acting like this is, oh my God. Oh Jesus, there's this other killer that was... Hey, all right, Ali Kohler. So, oh, there it is. There's Kate Harding. She became the first coffee supporter for the night. All right. Wow, thank you so much. Bought me a few coffees there. Very kind, very kind. Hold on. It's snowing here. I got to get this phone call. Jesus, here comes the crazy person again. I didn't even know I had Skype running. Let me turn that off. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta fix something here. Hold on. Always the troll. Every single night. Never ends. Hold on. There we go. Perfect. Sorry. Now, anyways, it's snowing here, and I was gonna go pick up my wife, but she said I can do it because so we'll see. She's just driving back. It was kind of snowy and cold all day, so we'll see how it goes. It wasn't publicly known until last month court hearing that at least 2 of the yeah, we already did that. The decision amounted to detectives intentionally omitting the information. I think even if they put it in there, all you're doing is confusing stuff. Like, they already got the DNA out the knife sheath that led to Kohberger. Kohberger makes sense. He also drove a white Elantra, one missing its front license plate. I'm sure they have a ton of other information now. How does that, let's see, Ada County District Judge Stephen Hippler pushed back on the defense at the January hearing. We just watched this last night. How does that, even if disclosed, preclude a finding of probable cause when there's a DNA match between the DNA on the sheath and Mr. Kohberger? He asked Taylor, isn't that probable cause every day and twice on Sunday? Yeah, probable cause shouldn't be considered in a vacuum, Taylor responded. She indicated that the decision before Hippler had greater implications for the overarching criminal justice system. If that's the only thing she's told, I can see why she'd find probable cause, Taylor said of the magistrate judge. It's these other things that are withheld that create a context around it. Do we want to have one thing with no context around it when there's this other context that really matters? I hope the judge does not allow the defense to bring up other DNA in the house that wasn't tested, because that's just sort of a red herring for some dumb crap idiot to go, oh, there's reasonable doubt now, everybody. There's reasonable doubt. No, there isn't any. It doesn't change the reasonable doubt at all. Brian Kohberger's DNA was on the knife sheath left on the bed. But there's people that don't think logically. Their description of what reasonable doubt is totally unreasonable. Kohberger's defense. Can you guys hit the like button, for God's sakes? Here we are again, another night. We've got 90 likes with 237 people watching. It's pretty easy just to hit the button. So here we go. Hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30. If you want to leave, go ahead. Get the hell out of here. I don't give a damn. Hit the like button, though. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows. Hit that like button. All right. Thank you very much. Pretty simple, everybody. Let's get that to 100. If we don't get to 100, I'm just pausing the show. Gray, I'll hit it if I want to. How dare you pause the show, you bastard. Keep hitting the like button, you guys. Keep hitting the like button. It's right there, right in front of your face. 103, keep hitting the like button. We've lost 4 people from watching, but keep on leaving. Keep on leaving if you want to. I do the show the way I want to do it. Hit that like button, everybody. We're at 103. Ridiculous. 106 even. 106 even. All right. That's right. You put your DNA on the damn like button. Is it that hard? We're still at 106. Keep on going, everybody. I guess what it means is that there are 140 trolls watching at this moment. Kohberger's defense seeks to challenge several search warrants and evidence obtained. Yeah, we know what they're trying to do in here. It's just, want me to go through this whole thing? I mean, I can. It's not a big deal. Kohberger's defense seeks to challenge... Oh, how about this? I'll play it. I'm going to just play it right here. And it's only 9 minutes.
Kohberger's defense seeks to challenge several search warrants and...
I have a British voice because the lady who sent me the email is a British woman. So I'll be reading, that email will be read with this voice in a little bit.
Obtained with them at what's known as a Frank's hearing. The request is akin to appealing the magistrate judge's probable cause finding and rarely succeeds, legal experts told the Idaho Statesman. The prosecution objected to the granting of that hearing, and Hippler has yet to issue his ruling. Brian Kohberger, 30, a former graduate student at Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, is accused of the November 2022 college student killings at the off-campus home on King Road in Moscow, just over the Idaho state line. He is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. The 4 victims were Kaylee Goncalves, 21, of Rathdrum, Madison Mogan, 21, of Coeur d'Alene. The unknown male blood DNA samples police found inside and just outside the King Road home raise important questions about the investigation, Taylor told the court last month. That evidence, which she argued is material and exculpatory, meaning it supports Kohberger's claim of innocence, was deliberately kept from the judge ahead of her client's arrest, she said.
She didn't.
The information is not necessarily exculpatory for Kohberger, Hippler countered. Rather, it could suggest the possibility that other suspects were involved, if you assume that that blood was related to the victims, and not some earlier event in the house, he said. Regardless of if the defense prevails in convincing Hippler to grant a Frank's hearing, or to suppress other state evidence, it's likely that Kohberger's attorneys will use the unidentified blood DNA from the crime scene to try to muddy the waters at trial to create reasonable doubt.
Right.
Boise criminal defense attorney Edwina L. Cox told the Statesman in a phone interview, that evidence could be any variety of things. It could be something, or it could be a lot of things that are nothing, said L. Cox, who briefly represented Lori Vallow Daybell in her Idaho murder case. There's at least something to be made of it, and it's better than having nothing as a defense.
Well, I think that's why the prosecution should actually go and do IGG on it, so that there's nothing to talk about. You know, and if it comes up with another name, then you can say, Brian, when you said when you were arrested, did they arrest anybody else? Was one of those other DNA samples somebody that you knew, because you were there too?
The primary challenge for the defense in Kohberger's capital murder case will be explaining to jurors why a knife sheath, which the state alleges had the defendant's DNA on it, was found inside the home where the victims were fatally stabbed, L. Cox said. That's the thing that squarely puts him there, she said. The magnitude of that evidence to the state's case is critical and cannot be understated. The ultimate question. Kohberger's public defense team has said on several occasions that he is innocent of the crimes for which he's accused. Taylor reiterated at last month's hearing that no connections exist between her client and the victims. In spite of the allegations, Kohberger has never been to the King Road home, she said. Police executed a search warrant at Kohberger's student apartment and sought a variety of evidence if found. That included all DNA evidence, which entailed any items with blood, bodily fluids, human tissue, skin cells and hair. Initial analysis from presumptive chemical tests on a stained mattress cover and pillow taken from Kohberger's apartment came back positive for blood, records showed. Washington State University police executed a search warrant at Brian Kohberger's student apartment in Pullman. The King Road residence contained a significant amount of blood from the victims, including splatter and cast-off blood stain pattern resulting from blood drops released from an object, due to its motion, which, based on my training, makes it likely that this evidence was transferred to Kohberger's person, clothing or shoes. Moscow Police Sergeant Dustin Blaker wrote in a sworn statement in support of the warrants. But none of what was seized related to the four victims, according to Kohberger's attorneys. During the search of their client's apartment,
it's almost like the Probergers want, like, wow, this is a criminology doctoral candidate here. Man, it'd be so cool if he committed a perfect crime. Yeah. So then they look for these little outs. Doesn't it seem obvious that you've got Kohberger's DNA on the knife sheath. A white Elantra was driving around the neighborhood. He admits to driving around. Ann Taylor admits that a camera filmed his car right next to the house there, a quarter mile away. And, Kohberger, like I just said, he admitted to being around in the area. I mean, isn't it just obvious that that's, he doesn't have an alibi or anything. His original alibi sucks. It went away. Hey, Drizzport, I should just do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm getting tired of your comments in the chat. Okay, I'm not enjoying your presence. All right, thanks. All right, so here let's.
Victim Kaylee Goncalves owned a dog with her ex-boyfriend, and Moscow police found it in her third-floor bedroom when they arrived at the crime scene, according to the probable cause affidavit. The door to her bedroom was open, as was Mogan's third-floor bedroom where Goncalves and Mogan were found dead. Taylor told the court at the hearing. This dog had not tracked any blood around, she said. The dog had no blood on it, but none of what was seized related to the four victims, according to Kohberger's attorneys. During the search of their client's apartment, in addition to 3 searches of his white Hyundai Elantra, police found absolutely no connection between him and anybody from 1122 King, Taylor said at last month's hearing. There's no blood in his car, she added. He wasn't connected to that house, to the people in the house. During their court-approved search, police pulled apart components, including the brake, gear shift, and key fob remote, of Kohberger's car, Taylor said. Nothing tying Kohberger to the victims was found on his steering wheel either, she said. Victim Kaylee Goncalves owned a dog with her ex-boyfriend, and Moscow police found it in her third-floor bedroom when they arrived at the crime scene, according to the probable cause affidavit. The door to her bedroom was open, as was Mogan's third-floor bedroom where Goncalves and Mogan were found dead, Taylor told the court at the hearing. This dog had not tracked any blood around, she said. The dog had no blood on it whatsoever.
Okay, so what does that mean, though? So somehow that happened, right? How does that take Kohberger out? Like, there's nothing on that statement right there about the dog, Murphy, that takes that out. And by the way, Driz, there's a ton of... There are way more Kohberger is innocent crowd than the people that watch my channel, okay? Way more. You're incorrect. I can just tell you.
But it was just sitting in an open room a day later. Police suspect Kohberger returned to his Pullman apartment after the violent knife attack. At that time, it is likely that he still had blood or other trace evidence on his person, clothes, shoes, including skin cells or hair from the victims, or from Goncalves' dog, Blaker wrote. It is likely that some trace evidence was transferred to areas in his apartment through contact with the items worn during the attack. A search warrant return with 24 items includes 10 possible hair strands, one that was possibly from an animal, and 3 more possible hairs among all that police seized from Kohberger's apartment. On a list of more than 50 exhibits the defense team submitted to the court in support of a Franks hearing, they included 2 FBI lab reports for hair fibers, each noting no connection. It is unclear if the 2 FBI reports the defense submitted relate to the possible hairs police located during the search of Kohberger's apartment. Hippler told Taylor last month that a direct DNA comparison between the defendant and the knife sheath at the location of a quadruple homicide would seem to close the book on the matter of probable cause. The question jurors will have to weigh for a possible conviction is the proof beyond a reasonable doubt standard, he said. There may be, as you say, other people that creates concern or issues about that need to be investigated further, Hippler said. But I'm not sure that that diminishes the probable cause for Mr. Kohberger if his DNA is found on a knife sheath found on or near the victim, who was stabbed with said alleged knife, that would have been in said alleged sheath. 4 University of Idaho students were found stabbed to death on I mean, that's the ultimate question that will be before a jury, Taylor. So how did a sheath for a fixed blade knife get there? And how did Brian Kohberger's skin cells allegedly wind up on it if he was not involved? Taylor acknowledged that is the most significant issue ahead at trial. I mean, that's the ultimate question that will be before a jury, Taylor said. What does a knife sheath at a scene mean? Hippler shot back. If you're killed with a knife, that probably means a lot. It might, she said. This story was originally published February 11th, 20...
Well, there you go. So, I don't know. To me, they always leave out the other stuff when they talk about that. Wow, how does DNA get on a knife sheath that allegedly had the knife in it that was used? Instead of saying a vehicle determined to be a white Elantra was driving around without its front license plate, and it drove back behind and parked at around 4:08 and is seen leaving at a high rate of speed at 4:20, we know by the fact that Xana Kernodle was received a DoorDash and was still on her TikTok at 4:12 that she was still alive. So that means between 4:08 and 4:20, all of the victims were killed. And during the killing, a knife sheath was left on Madison Mogan's bed that had Brian Kohberger's DNA on it. An individual who is a doctorate candidate for criminology who drives a white Elantra that's missing its front license plate. It's just so like, wow. I mean, how do you get past that? Well, Gray, you don't understand. See, it wasn't a white Elantra driving around. There's no way you can prove it, man. Let's try to free a quadruple killer. Right. Yeah, you go ahead. I don't get it, Driz. See, you make some really stupid comments. Let's see. Hey, Freaks and Alley Cake. Well, only 150 people watch your... No, I get way more than 150. When it's really... When you cover cases that nobody's ever heard of, yeah, you get 150 people. But hey, guys, we're still stuck at 1/8 of our nightly goal. So if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel, I would appreciate it. We've just kind of frozen for some unknown reason. Yeah, the opposition voice, the little crying voice, yeah. Right. Well, the funny thing is, in this letter that was written to me, they said that they had separated their trash because they don't like their DNA with anybody, but they've never moved it to, like, a neighbor's house. So, I guess we'll have to listen to this. That's right, Plato. I don't know how to say it to people. I've tried to explain it on this channel. On a nightly basis, I try to raise funds because part of my mission is to, obviously supporting my channel to allow me to keep doing the shows. But my channel, out of the income to the channel, has donated $230,000 in 5 years. Okay, and the only way that happens is sort of like a bulk thing. If everybody's supporting and the channel, tipping on a nightly basis, etc. I try to make videos now more than I used to try to augment the shift in people wanting to help support the channel. Don't know what happened. I feel like I do a better job than most of the people that cover these cases. But if you have the ability to, I'm talking to you out there, if you have the ability to help support the channel, that'd be great. Okay? It's just, I don't know what else I can say to keep trying to get people to do it. It gets kind of tiresome. GSU PM says, love the Kohberger vids you've done lately. And my Arius ones. Yeah, I did my Arius videos that I made back 10 years ago or some of the... It's kind of weird to think that that was only 10 years ago, like more like 11 or 12, but it still seems like that was 20 years ago. Yeah, and don't forget, we also have a scholarship fund that we've put $3,000 in, or $6,000 2 years in a row, so $12,000 total have been given out to students to go to school in the criminology world, and that only happens when you guys are, supporting the channel on a nightly basis. I wish people actually, felt more part of what we're doing here and wanted to be part of that, because it does allow me to keep doing the shows too, but I take, the bulk effect is how I'm able to donate that much money at the end of the month. I don't say, I'm not a charity intake company or something like that, but I feel like it's, when you're in the true crime world, you should give back quite a bit, and very few channels give a nickel. They usually have a fundraiser here and there, but there's no pain on their end. All right, so this $230,000 I could have paid off my house easily, so I didn't. Hey, thanks, Mama 457 Rose. Okay, here is this letter here by someone named Khaleesi. I think it's Khaleesi. All right, so it's long, but here we go. It's probably the longest email I've ever got. Okay, but I'm gonna play the whole thing. Some of it's just kind of about, like, up right here is when the Kohberger stuff starts, but I'll just play the whole thing. Let's see. How do I
a lot for me in this case to see evidence versus
there.
A lot for me in this case to see evidence versus conspiracy theories.
No, that's not how, right? There.
And I can't believe how many spelling mistakes I had made, or grammar errors I thought I corrected.
Yeah, she resent the entire email because of that.
I don't want to say... Good evening, Gray. I want to apologize in advance for what I think will be a long overdone email, but I have been wanting to contact you for a very long time, and hope you're able to find some time whenever you're able to read it. I not only want to thank you for your direct, evidence-based, informative videos and live streams, but for your hard work in donating and trying to help others each month. I've been very nervous to email you for years, as this isn't something I do, and I know you're very no-nonsense, so I don't want to add to the nonsense. I've been watching you for many years. I think I first saw a video from you regarding either Molly Tibbetts or Kanika Jenkins, which your videos helped a lot for me in this case, to see evidence versus conspiracy theories that were and still are running rampant. I originally found you through Lord and Arts in my early 20s or late teens, as I've watched crime-related videos for a decade now, and you were one of the first YouTubers I found who does live streams, which helped me a lot educationally, but also to not feel as alone, because I did used to engage with the freaks in your chat when I first found you, and the community was always so kind and welcoming to me. However, Even to this day, having you in the background while I do tasks in my home, etc., and seeing the chat makes me feel less alone and like people are with me in real time almost. Your humor is so dry sometimes. But as I'm Britishy, think it's great since most Americans do not have that kind of humor, and I usually see it in fellow British people or Australians. Many jokes you've made unintentionally brighten my day a little bit, or just the overall live stream, since obviously these are sad events that are being discussed. Last night when you were mentioning the judge and put the audio over him about what he's potentially thinking, I couldn't help but laugh because it's exactly what I think when I see him. I doubt I could stand before him because I'd be thinking I need to wrap this up real quick, because he's getting tired of me, ha ha ha. But with some things T has said, I'm pretty much pulling the same face. Like, come on. I know she has to do her job and defend, but it isn't going well at all. I haven't spoken for a long time in the chat, and I'm sure I wouldn't even be remembered by now, as it's been many years. But I ended up stopping due to inappropriate comments and trolls I didn't feel were necessary or fair towards not just you, but the cases you discuss. I still watch almost nightly if I'm able to, or I'll watch a replay, like I'm currently doing with your live stream from last night, as I could only watch half an hour or so when you started. It's so sad to see your channel hasn't been getting the recognition it deserves after your continuous effort and dedication. I remember when you had a neck brace and still continued to livestream for hours during the discomfort you were going through. You have a lot of haters for your direct and so mean demeanor, but as someone who has a lot of respect and admiration for you and what you have done, achieved, I find this so unfair that people seem to hate on you and the good you do, just because they simply don't agree with how you react to the consistent trolling and rudeness you receive. I would like to see any of these people hold themselves together for hours, for years on end without getting frustrated, because I can only imagine my own reactions to some of these people, and I doubt I would react nicely time after time of having to repeat or defend myself. People are not putting themselves in your position, or getting the hate you receive. I understand I do not need to defend you, you're a grown man who knows himself and your intentions. I'm simply just saying it from an outsider perspective, and as a long-term viewer of yours. Do I think sometimes you have lashed out and it has been wrong? Yes, but I've also seen you apologize for it and admit you were wrong and due to the text, which isn't always easy to read the tone of. You assumed it to be a troll, and I find that completely understandable given the amount of hate that's thrown towards you. I wanted to also give my condolences to you and your family, loved ones regarding Blue. His presence from the very first live streams I watched with you, he always was so comforting to see. Especially during some cases which can make anyone feel unsettled, uneasy, especially being home alone. It was lovely to see him and your love for him. I remember when you got Chloe too, and it's been sweet to see your new additions to the Hughes and Freak family.
Yeah, so well, then it gets on to other stuff, but see, that's exactly how I feel in here. Like, I've got trolls, and then some nights I read something wrong, and I go, oh shit, I read that wrong, you know. And when somebody says, you know, like, Fairchild, I'm definitely a fan. Well, what she said was true. Okay, that's the thing. I know you probably don't think that, but you know, it's absolutely. I don't know. I felt cool that she was able to see exactly how I feel in here. You know, it's like a struggle every single night. You know, to get the goal and everything going. And, you know, they get the trolls that show up and they make their stupid comments, and no matter where I go, the trolls show up and they destroy, you know, any goodwill that there was in any other forum. They go in there intentionally to trash me and, you know, try to make it very difficult. So here's the weird part about it. In the next 5 years, let's say those guys are successful in completely shutting down me getting any support at all from any of you guys. That means I would say probably about $220,000 more dollars won't make it out there. You know, maybe somehow 10,000 over 5 years from all the other channels will get it into the charity realm, but that won't make it out there. Yeah, so that's what they're so stupid that that's what they do, is spend their time trying to keep my channel from being successful and giving even more and more. Yes, I would make more too during those times, you know, because I get ad revenue, etc. And the more people that watch, the more ad revenue, you know. But anyways, like I keep saying, I need your guys' support on a nightly basis. It seems like with 258 people It should be easy to get to the goal here, you guys. It shouldn't be difficult. All right, here, let me start right there.
I'm sorry for the long email, but regarding your live stream last night and your video about buc-ee, I saw so many comments that almost made me want to respond. I don't comment on YouTube, but I always make sure to like your videos, even if I haven't watched them yet. I know these things I'm going to bring up aren't new to you, but I just wanted to discuss them, as I don't really have anyone I speak with who watches, reads about crime cases, and would be very interested to hear your thoughts if I have missed them during a live stream or any information you have to add, because I find your insights very enlightening and reasonable. The lack of blood in his car, given the amount of steps he took to hide his trash, completely makes sense. I have OCD myself, to the extent that if I have a loose hair in my hand from combing my hair while I'm out, I will hold my hair until I'm home to put it in my own trash. People could think that's odd, but to me, I don't like the idea of my DNA touching others. It sounds insane, I know. I'm just trying to explain the depths of my OCD and how, although everyone is different, I have never put my trash into a neighbor's trash can, especially around a specific time frame that makes it all the more sus for someone like buc-ee. I just can't understand any reasoning for him putting his trash into someone else's because of OCD, and I've tried to come up with many reasons he may have done this, but nothing has been plausible for me. But again, with the steps he took to hide his trash, why would it be so far-fetched for him to have bought cheap, replaceable car covers, or even completely Dexter-styled his car with a wrap? He also had months to clean his car repeatedly afterwards, even just doing so every weekend to not appear out the norm, which could have helped if any DNA had been transferred. I also know that crime scenes can be absolutely covered in blood, especially with what was involved in this one, but from what I'm aware, and do tell me if I'm wrong, blood doesn't pour out immediately. Obviously, to some degree it does from the skin being opened, punctured, but it will continue to pump out until the heart stops and can continue since...
Yeah, but I think when it originally... hold on. Does it start right there?
Gravity bleeding may go on for hours after passing. This could make some sense as to...
I think if you're... When your body's full of blood and you're fighting and you get punctured in your... like a carotid artery, it just sprays out, and then as your blood pressure drops, then it starts more kind of, like slowly kind of pumping out until you have no blood left. But the original, so I think if you're behind the person and you cut their throat from the front, from behind, it might shoot out in that direction. It wouldn't get all over you. So everyone thinks when you have a big stabbing event like that you end up looking like Carrie from, the movie, or Sissy Spacek from the movie Carrie. I already said that, Sarah. I did a whole video on it. What are you talking about? Thanks, Allie Cake. What are your thoughts about Xana being attacked first? Her aunt has stated that the family was told Xana was first. Oh, okay. Well, I made a whole video about that yesterday. Did you watch it? The entire video. I mean, it led up to it, but that's what the gist of it was about. I think that she was attacked first. And that was my original first guess. And everyone said, no, Madison. So then I kind of, I could see that. And then I found a scenario that made that work. Hey, thanks, Sarah Austin, and Uniquely Susie, and Amber Maiden. Thank you. On the Alley Cake wave. Hey, finally, some people joined on Alley Cake's wave. I mean, you've never watched any of my videos before, Sarah? Come on, Jesus. I've made the best videos on the Idaho 4 case for 2 years. And I'm not trying to just be like, trying to toot my own horn or whatever. I'm just telling you, it is. A full model of the house. I've driven there, went all around, filmed everything. And it's just amazing to me that there's people that have been stuck in this void of watching the clown and the UK guy. Oh, thank you, you beautiful people. Whatever the hell he always says. Unbelievable. Hey, thanks, Mama 457 Rose. I mean, it's cool that you finally found it here. You found me here finally. So why don't you hang out here and like get the real information? My theory is that the killer went into the house and got into the house around the time that Xana is, basically almost done with TikTok. It's like gets in the house at 4:10, 4:11, and maybe there's a sound, and she's the one that said, "Hey, I think somebody's here." And then he went and attacked them, and he thought he killed both of them. Then he goes upstairs and kills Madison and Kaylee. Then he comes down to leave, and then he hears whimpering and goes down the hall and probably sees Xana still alive. Maybe she was even trying to like walk a little bit, and he goes up and he stabs her a couple times, and then she drops to the ground. Then there's a thud, then the dog's barking, etc. And then he got the hell out of the house right then, because that explains the "I'm here to help you." When Kohberger came back down, he hears the whimpering, and he says, "It's okay. I'm going to help you." That wasn't Ethan Chapin who said that. There's no chance. Hey, thanks, Sarah Austin. First time seeing you. I've been watching all the court dates. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is I've been... it's cool. I guess it's cool to have... I don't know. It's so weird. Do you guys understand why it's weird for me? Like, how to take that? It's like... It just shows you that YouTube is ridiculous, okay? How... they don't put out... I have some videos in this case that have 70, 80,000 views, but obviously it didn't make it to some of the people. All right, let's get back to this. So I think that she's talking about what do you guys think for the people in here who have OCD? Could you see somebody, like in her case, she didn't want her trash or something of hers being mixed in with somebody else's DNA, but she would never put it into somebody else's garbage can. And then also I think what happens when you get your artery cut, it originally starts spraying out, and then as the blood pressure drops because of lack of blood, it starts more kind of pumping out slowly and eventually like that. We got trolls in here again. All right. Let me go to right here.
How he was able to avoid certain... I can't answer how he knew the doors would be unlocked, or just assumed they would be, since I know not everyone, even in this day and age, lock their doors.
Yeah, I keep getting these people that are like, how did Kohberger know the door was going to be unlocked? I don't know. He probably went there and he was going to try to get in however he could get in. Okay? And he tried the sliding glass door and it was open. Because it's a college... people make it seem like he had to know that the back door was unlocked. Does that even sound reasonable to anybody? He knew that they were in there, and he was going to get into that house however he could get into that house, and perhaps the sliding glass door was open and he goes in. Maybe he was going to go climb through the window over there. Who knows? It's just bizarre to me that people think that that's not... I'm not saying in this comment right here, but there's people who make it sound like that's sort of exculpatory almost. And it just isn't.
It could have been a guess from him watching the home before, maybe even testing the doors that we are unaware
Right,
of.
he might have been there.
Although I'm unsure if he would have gone that close to the house on other visits if he wasn't ready to commit to the crime he was attempting. He maybe just didn't care, and if they were closed he would try another way of entry, or not have gone through with it.
I think he, at a lot of college houses like that, they leave those back doors unlocked. Things like that. People just aren't thinking about it. And I think that Kohberger, that Wida launcher that was driving around behind the building had to have been there before to know to be able to do that. Because it wouldn't be something on a map that you would look down and notice that you could do that. So they had to know that you could drive back behind 500 and then come back each time and be right in a position to look into Madison's room. Right? If you had to drive up it and back up and turn around, it gets kind of awkward. He was able to keep doing it on a loop where as he drives around, he can merely pull in and look and then continue on. See?
If there isn't any ties to him and the victims, he might have even tried another house. I just find this hard to imagine with this area being so far away from where he lived, and not a very known area. In terms of knowing the roads, and you wouldn't necessarily go there unless you knew someone, or lived there yourself. I have lived in villages before. I'm from the UK but now live in the US, so I understand the two places are extremely different. But I have been to surrounding villages and some places I've lived for the majority of my life. I haven't known of all the other villages in the area, especially not how to navigate them without GPS. I definitely wouldn't know certain routes around the homes themselves, without checking out a map or going there beforehand. There are so many maybes we just don't know, and for anyone to be so resilient to listen to you when you're only listening to the facts we've already heard, and going over court documents and hearings is crazy to me. I do.
Right, yeah, it's weird how people are like, oh, got gray guy. Look, I was there, and I drove around that back, the route there, and we did it on a live stream. I kept turning the wrong way, went this way and this way. And eventually, after I went there multiple times, I was able to drive around on that loop without making a mistake. And I think that's what he was doing on those other times out there. Now, they say that they don't have evidence that he, the other 13 times he was out there, that he drove by the house. That's true. Because the cell phone tower, it's hard to, you can't triangulate. Because there's not like one or two towers over there. So they have his cell phone using the same cell tower resources as 1122 King Road. But I think that he was driving around, scouting out, and I think he had that particular house in mind, because his first pass goes right there. How did he know to do that? Oh, well, I'm going to drive back behind there and then pull up. He was there to do something, I believe, with Madison Mogen. My original theory at the very beginning was that he went into the house to kill all of them, and that's still a possibility, that he thought he was going to go there and kill all the girls in that house, Bundy style. But Ethan Chapin was there, and he didn't expect Kaylee Gonzalez to be in Madison Mogen's bedroom. He thought they'd all be in their own bedroom asleep, and he could kill each one by themselves. And that was my original theory, and that's still a possibility. But I think the way I look at it now, it's like Madison Mogen, I think, was the target, given that windows right there, and Kaylee could just be collateral damage, and Ethan Chapin certainly is. And then it seems like Xana had an issue because she was awake and heard something and said something. So then, other than that, the only one person that was killed is Madison Mogen, that seems sort of technically like a victim, a pure victim. I mean, they're all pure victims. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say, though, right? Like, Kaylee wasn't supposed to be there, neither was Ethan Chapin, and Xana was killed because she was awake and said something, right? Madison Mogen's the only one where he goes into her bedroom, and that's the person he was supposed to kill in that bedroom. What do you guys think of that? Watch which ones. Let's see. Yeah, it is. It's crazy, you guys. Just look at this for a second. Watch. How in the hell? I'm just going to go back here. He drives down this street, and I'm going to go all the way to the top, and somehow he drove. See, like, look right over here. The car originally goes up this road right there, right? Then it comes out right up here. Let me go back even more. I'll go to the beginning. Right up here. So from here you can see down there. The car drives up like that. Then it comes right up here, and then it could stop right there. And then look right into the window right here. See that? I mean, it did that the first loop. So how did it know to do that? Oh, it was just looking around? That's complete garbage. No way in hell that's what happened. All right, you guys, we're currently at a third of the nightly goal now, so if you guys can help support the channel, as I was saying earlier, that'd be great. Thank you. All right, let me get back to this email here.
Do have one question in my mind on why he was so confident to go into the house without knowing how many people would be there that night on a busy weekend. If only the girls would be home, and I guess to him he would want to be sleeping. I would imagine if he had looked beforehand the residence would have been listed online somewhere, since that information can be found pretty easily depending on the state if someone tries hard enough to find it out. If he had one target, maybe he already found the house plan online, perhaps he was looking through the windows as you've stated before, and they didn't close the curtains, blinds at night because it's such a wooded area they assumed no one was looking in, or were often coming home from drinking, and closing whatever was at the window was the last thing on their minds. Maybe from being able to see in the top levels of the house he knew somewhat where he wanted to go, and expected to be in and out quietly, unnoticed. But then I ask, how did he prepare himself in case of interruptions or noises that anyone else could hear? But again, I'm not in the mind of a psychopath, and I haven't studied criminology to a college degree level like he was, to the point he was so confident in his knowledge, ability that he actually requested to work alongside the PD but was denied. I'm unaware if that is a rumor.
That's real. That's a real thing.
But it wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't. I can't understand how people think one single man cannot do this, when we have heard of so many cases such as Ted Bundy. Go onto multiple college campuses, into a house full of people, and get away into the night like a ninja, as I've seen the people in your comments refer to BK, and him not being able to do it all alone. TB obviously got away with it for much longer, due to the differences in technology. I can't imagine how it would be during current times, but he still got in and out without being noticed multiple times, in houses full of people. And I assume he had no idea how many people would be in the room he was targeting, let alone the house, but still had this insane ego he could do it. Maybe after years of not being suspected, it made him even more arrogant over time, and it became unfortunately easier. I assume his first times, like BK, there would have been some questioning in his mind of each scenario that could happen, but obviously these people have such a want to do this. All rationality goes out the window, and they convince themselves they're able to get away with it, or else they wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I actually do think I've done. I did a video where I think he was trying to emulate Bundy. But you know, I think he studied criminology, so he planned it to mitigate any sort of exposure out there. I think he thought there's no way to know if there were multiple people in one room, but he knew that everybody had their own room, and most people wouldn't think that somebody else is going to sleep on somebody else's small little bed, because I think Madison Mogan actually had a twin bed, and they were both on that bed. So he probably didn't expect that. And I don't know if he knew that she had a twin bed, but I think he just thought that they would be in their own bedrooms, and he went up there, and it's possible that he was going to kill all of the girls, all four, let's see, was it 5 of the girls, but he didn't know. I don't know if he knew that Kaylee wasn't really there at that time, wasn't supposed to be there. So I don't know. Thanks, K-Me. Alright, let's go to the next one.
I think the sheath was maybe left by mistake with him going back the next morning and going anyone near that house. He had no idea if the crime scene had been discovered
So I know people like Zozo and they believe this, but I don't believe this
yet
at all.
or not. So even looking from afar would be a huge risk for anyone who was looking out for unfamiliar faces,
But he did that, though.
suspicious individuals. Although I find it hard to think he would have gone back regardless, knowing how dangerous it was. But clearly he did, and
Well, here's why he did. Is because it was a compulsion for him to go. I think he went back to look at the carnage, and he just had to see it. He had to see his work and all the cops around there. I think it would be ludicrous to believe that he drove back at 9 in the morning for him to see if he could. He already knew he didn't have that knife sheath, right? I mean, he's a meticulous person. He knew he didn't have that knife sheath at, hell, 4 in the morning, 4:30. He knew it. So why wouldn't he go back at 6 in the morning instead, or 5 or whatever, right? So he goes back there at 9 in the morning right when you would think that people are awake and cops are going to show up, etc. It just doesn't make any sense to me that he would go looking at that point. And she even said in here that that'd be really risky, right? But unless you're doing it, it's risky to do any of these types of crimes, but it's not really, if he's doing it for the sake of a thrill to see, then he'll do it regardless. See?
And I feel it was due to the unease he knew he left the sheath behind. If it was a calling card, I would have thought he would have used gloves when handling the sheath at all times to...
Yeah, but we've already explained that 1,000 times. If it was a calling card, he would have used gloves. Here's the thing. What he did was he cleaned it perfectly. He missed a tiny spot on the button of the knife sheath. That's it. So it shows you that the one single source piece of DNA that they found was in a place that you would forget to clean if you were cleaning it. All right? I think that actually tells you something there. That it was intentionally cleaned. He just missed that tiny little spot on the button of the knife sheath.
Avoid any DNA transfer, but again, it somehow got there, and I don't believe it was so conveniently planted on someone who was looking at the stars, an hour away from their home. In another town you would have to know the area of or been to before. On the very same night, morning, this all happened. That is way too much of a coincidence for even me to believe.
Yeah, well the thing is now it's not even that. Ann Taylor was like, oh yeah, well they're certain his car was right there. So that means it's going to be between 3:30 and 4:20. His vehicle is a quarter mile away, right there on a side street. Okay, so now it's right in the neighborhood. So now what they're going to try to say is, well, how do we know if they didn't test that other DNA? How do we know that's not the real killer and that person knows Brian Kohberger and somehow transferred his DNA onto the knife sheath? That's what they're all going to go for. So I think the defense team needs, or the prosecution, I mean, needs to go out and identify those sources. Yeah. So any more coffees you guys going to buy? We need some more. We're only at third of the goal, you guys. It's just deader than a doornail, yet again. Sheath was lost in the struggle. I don't agree. I think he left it there. Listen, Brian Kohberger was trying to be a serial killer, and his teacher was a serial killer expert. Prior, he emulated Bundy. He learned about signatures and calling cards and stuff like that. I think he was trying to do it all. And I just think it's, like, how does a knife sheath come off of a belt? This just seems like he had the knife in a sheath in his pocket intentionally because he was going to use the knife and then he was going to leave the sheath there. That's just my opinion. Could be that I just think it's people just sort of really quickly, nonchalantly don't really consider that.
From my understanding, which I may be wrong again, because I haven't completely dedicated as much time as you or others into this case, as there is so much to follow. The partial DNA male blood print found on the staircase banister was determined to be there long before the crime, which is why it's also more difficult to pull a print from it.
See, I haven't heard that. Like, where is she getting that piece of information from? That makes sense, but I haven't seen that.
I would think that alone should be evidence to those that claim that this is another reason to defend BK. But if they looked into it, they would realize that although many cases have had corruption from police departments, this isn't one of them. The police seem to have really tried greatly to figure out the facts they were going to bring forward to help them in the future, and arrest BK lawfully, and not to affect their chances or have any rebuttal in court due to how they approached this case, and eventually thought to arrest him. I feel there is much more we obviously have not seen, heard that we will hear of during trial that they want to save for that time. He would not be behind bars for 2+ years if they didn't have more, at least I would think. Even though they supporters of him are trying to suggest this DNA isn't relevant because it's trace evidence DNA, it was at the crime scene, underneath a victim, and was so small but identifiable it's hard to ignore this. They also love to mention how blood that I think was found
was actually like right next to him. You could see it when he went into the room. You could see the knife sheath on the bed next to Madison, maybe partially under her. I think they might have mentioned that in a different document later.
From his pillow, I apologize if I'm wrong here. Could be from 100+ different household incidents, but refused to acknowledge a party house with people coming in and out continuously for however long over the years. Could have had incidents where someone hurt themselves. The roommates might not even remember the incident. It could have involved the others who sadly cannot speak for themselves, or their friends, or friends of their friends. The magnitude of people who have been in this house is so unknown, but from what I've read it was determined to be an old print, which also affected its integrity on being identified fully. But of course, they use this as another reason for reasonable doubt, and how they took down the house over a year. And it was unsafe to have a jury go through, as you and your viewers have mentioned so many times, due to flooring and walls being partially removed. Not to mention, I think you or somewhere else I heard years ago, the structure of the old house to the new house may have not been the safest. But that could be me misremembering something or speculation at the time. They seem to
You know what's crazy is how that, when I was there with the drone filming him tear it down, that thing came down so easily. It looked like it was made out of cardboard.
Reach for any reason on why you're wrong, and then add in how you are as a person that you think you're always right. It's just complete denial and irrational reasoning to listen to someone else's. But of course, they use this as another reason for reasonable doubt, and how they took down the house over a year. And it was unsafe to have a jury go through, as you and your viewers have mentioned so many times, due to flooring and walls being partially removed. Not to mention, I think you or somewhere else I heard years ago, the structure of the old house to the new house may have not been the safest. But that could be me misremembering something or speculation at the time. They seem to reach for any reason on why you're wrong, and then add in how you are as a person that you think you're always right. It's just complete denial and irrational reasoning to listen to someone else's perspective, because it doesn't adhere to their own and what they want to believe. Too many people think this way, and it's outstanding and quiet. Honestly, scary people can't have a fair discussion without getting personal. The last two things I wanted to add is how scared the other roommates could have been. I have been startled by sounds I think I've heard in my own home while alone and hidden for hours behind furniture, or in a corner, even under a table, before moving. Maybe I am younger, respectfully speaking, than most of your audience who aren't putting themselves in their younger state of mind or these current times. But I haven't called the police even from hearing something that has scared me for hours, because I'm trying to rationalize what I heard, and not bother anyone in case I'm wrong, and seem like I'm overreacting. Adding on being under the influence of how much of whatever substance, I can see them trying to sleep it off until daylight, and not expecting to have slept as long as they did. They may have thought to themselves as soon as they see daylight they'll check out upstairs or call someone to come over, but ended up sleeping longer than intended because they were drunk. Being drunk also adds to apprehension, confusion, or not realizing what's going on around you coherently. So for the roommates who were attacked, a scream may not have happened because they were so stunned, scared, confused on what was happening in that moment. They didn't even have time to react before they were fighting so hard against someone who was in complete control of themselves and what they were intending to do. They also had the power imbalance of the weapon on top of that. It's easy to say what you think you would do once something has happened, but during that moment no one would know how they would react. I can't recall how many times I've said, I wish I'd done this, or I should have done that, on much very smaller scenarios. I have even been frozen and unable to react quick enough for very little things which will never compare to the scale of this. So we can't judge how anyone would ever react in that moment. I have thought...
Yeah, so, I mean, we got all these people that always keep blaming Dylan, and you know, they're just absolutely grasping at straws, trying to find something out there to... And I've said the same thing a million times, you know, just, you know, nobody knows how you would react. These people were drunk. She was probably absolutely scared out of her mind. She kind of locked her door and curled up there and wanted to be quiet, but kind of would text her friend just to have some sort of comfort, and then was scared to even come out of her room the next morning because she probably tried to text the other roommates and they never responded. Now she's kind of freaking out, and I don't know. It just, to me, it makes sense, and it's just wild to me how people want to think that Dylan Mortensen is somehow involved. It's ridiculous, actually. It's embarrassing that there's people that keep going down that route over and over and over again. And what's more embarrassing are the people who watch the people who do those videos and give them praise at the end of it. You guys are just as sick as they are, you know, unbelievable. Anyways, you guys, I need your guys' support. There are 292 people watching. It should be simple to reach our goal. We are currently at 89. Our goal is, you know, every night the low end goal is 200, which is ridiculous. It's like $1, you know. So if you guys could please help support the channel, that's the only way to get to where we're going. I'm trying to make videos to augment the difference, but I need your guys' help at the same time. All right. I just really don't want to always have to keep bringing it up on a nightly basis. And it seems like it's becoming like people just go, yeah, whatever, Gray, yeah, whatever, Gray, yeah, whatever. And it's not really whatever. We got to, you know, we do a lot of great things here, and I need your guys' help. All right? It's wild.
Thought many times about starting my own channel, because I believe a lot more people need to be directing their time to the victims, being a voice for them and not forgetting who they were, and given fact-based, informative videos based on evidence and court documents like you have for so many years, without losing your integrity to greed. I feel so many of these channels have either lost what they wanted to achieve in the beginning, or do not care whatsoever, and see this as a way to make easy money. It's so sad and unfair to all the real people who are involved. But I am aware I do not contain the knowledge, whether it be in reading documents 100% correctly, or understanding the maps, for example, in a way that you do. So I have decided I am much better as a viewer than a creator in this sphere. Your 3D modeling is absolutely incredible. As someone who has tried or worked with attempting to create smaller scale buildings of my own home, anything computer related, in terms of editing, creating, modeling or animating, only attempted in 2D, your skill has been so overlooked. Even if the trolls disagree with your opinion on a case, or dislike how you approach things and your reactions, your personality if you will, the very least they should be able to see is the dedication you take to creating models, visual scenes, and all the map work you do. This is not the bare minimum, and someone would not put this much time in doing and making these RE enactments if they didn't have good intentions. Especially seeing as your channel has been unfortunately affected by these people, and you still do so much as you can to keep it going for the charities and funds you continue to give to monthly. There should be a huge amount of respect for you for also taking the time to cover unknown, not so known cases or cold cases. When you know this hasn't been giving you the same views, because people are so disgustingly obsessed with sensationalized cases. Of course every case deserves exposure, recognition and respect to the victims, but so many people are on these cases that are very saturated in the media, and not for good reasons, and it seems to really show when you try to attempt to do a show on other lesser-known cases. So again, thank you so much for doing that for these victims' families, loved ones, and the victims themselves who should have a voice. I completely understand if you do not read or respond to this email, as I know you have so much to do to prepare for live streams each night, while also making time to be with your family. But please know there are many people like me who respect, appreciate, and have learnt so much from your content and rational thinking. I hope to one day be in a financial situation where I can donate, and hopefully for once be able to join the channel, and be an official member of the Freak family. I know you're probably thinking, how have I been a viewer for so long and never donated? But I assure you I'm not one of the people who are constantly hitting up Starbucks and other coffee shops. I've just unfortunately not been in the
I wasn't actually thinking that at all.
Best place financially. And it's been hard as a foreigner to not only get work, but work out all the legal financial side of things to be here. Your channel is something I have been wanting to be able to donate, help with one day though for a very long time. And I'm sorry I haven't been able to sooner, especially with how hard it's been recently. But I always try to do what I can with either sharing our videos to others, or liking as soon as you post, and keeping my notification bell on, which I don't for many channels I'm subscribed to. You might actually be the only one now I think about it. Thank you for what you do, and I'm sure it's been very disheartening to want to continue to do good. But seeing the reaction from others trying to bring you down, and affect the income of your channel, and I can't imagine how difficult that has been. I look forward to seeing your future videos, live streams, and thank you so much for your time. I hope you and your family have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you enjoy Valentine's Day with Mrs. Hughes.
With Mrs. Hughes. Anyways, yeah, that was cool. I mean, she absolutely. That's exactly how I feel. I wasn't wondering though, does she? You know, I haven't seen her for donating or whatever. I just want people to help support the channel who can, and you see, you know, it does allow me to keep doing the show. I make an income on here, but at the same time, I give away a lot, and that's kind of the whole thing. And so, like, even a night like tonight, you look at it and you go, wow. Even after it's been explained and everybody knows what the situation is here, nobody's doing anything. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's we're not even at 50% yet again. Hey, Drizzport, just leave me alone, man. I'm getting tired of everything that you write. It just bothers me. Of course, we responded. Okay, who the hell are you, man? Just weird questions. Yeah, I was a nice person, very cool. You know, I think a lot of people that have been around me, know, you know, feel and seen the same things. You know, and unfortunately, I react sometimes in certain ways. It's not great. But like, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you guys. I mean, what is the deal with tonight? You know, like, we're sitting here doing the show. We had a pretty good night 2 nights ago. Yesterday was not as good, and then today's not as good. It just seems like we're back to every night's like a square one moment. I just want it to be easier again, where it's like we're doing the shows. I'm still doing them. I'm putting in the same effort that I always put in. And it'd be great. Yeah, they know that when I make videos, it destroys their conspiracy theory bullshit that they're selling people, and they don't like that. They want to be able to keep bringing it up over and over and over again without any challenges at all. I mean, that guy from the UK, he makes 3 videos a day on this case, all nonsensical bull crap garbage that these people just suck it up like it's some great I mean, it's unbelievable, really. You know, it's scary. Right. But I've been doing live YouTube since 2018. So it's strange when there's these people that have never even seen it. All right, so I'm going to ask again, if you're out there, everybody, can you please help support the channel tonight? We've got 278 people watching. We are currently not even at 50% of the nightly goal. There's only been 1 coffee bot, etc. It's another struggle. Let's see. I want to see some of the new documents. I want to see the response from the judge. That's what I want to see. Yeah, nobody has to give me an explanation of why you can't. I'm just saying there's got to be people out there that could do it. Why does it sound like a troll letter to you, Driz? It sounds like a normal letter to me. Why would somebody take the time to write all the stuff about the Kohberger case? You sound like a lunatic, Driz. Can somebody just block that person? I'm tired of it. I can't deal with that person. I said need twice. Yeah, that person drives me crazy on a nightly basis. I think you're a troll, Driz. How about that? Yeah, I thought it was a normal letter. Why would you spend time writing up all your thoughts on the Kohberger case? You know, the last paragraph, you know, I wasn't sitting there thinking, hey, how come she hasn't donated? I don't think like that. But I'm wondering what's going on tonight's show, for damn sure. Yeah. Yeah, there's still just the 1 coffee from earlier. Quick at the draw, whoever did that, I saw the comment disappear. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Jake. Hey, there's Tito. All right, very cool. Let's see. All right, so what do you guys want to? I wanted to go through that and just kind of discuss stuff, but you know, maybe we can do some questions on. I mean, I'm going to be making videos about this case for a while again because I feel like it's just absolutely inundated. The only people making videos are all Kohberger types, okay? Because that's where the bread and butter is. That's where everybody starts. Ooh, this is so neat and cool how you were able to find something that we can try to. I mean, it's just it's incredible. Every single YouTuber that was in the the Delphi case will also be a Brian Kohberger supporter, because that's what they figured out. Oh wow, if we can be on the side of the convicted, we can come up with tons of content. Even after they're convicted, we can pretend that they got screwed and we can make video after video. Hey, thank you, kitty meow, and welcome Elizabeth Brown. Right, you're anti-Kohberger. Right, well, you should be. Brian Kohberger was an incel type person, has psychological issues growing up. He had that visual snow situation going on. He actually was on a list at a bar because he was making inappropriate comments to women. There was another time where he went out on a date and the girl got bad vibes from him, and he said something like, wow, you have nice birthing hips, you know, and had him get the hell out of there. And then it wasn't as bad as you got cat eyes. Your eyes look like a lizard, I mean. Yeah, so he completely, I mean, he's just, something's not quite right there. And then he's all the way over in Pullman, Washington, a doctorate student in criminology. So he's aware of, and he had been, a teacher taught him that was a serial killer expert in Pennsylvania. And then he moves from Pennsylvania to Washington, just like Bundy did. And then when he's there, his vehicle, he needs to change the plates there. So then he times the murder with the timing of when he needs to change those plates. So he drove around that night with no front license plate, but when he was pulled over driving home, he had 2 license plates, and they were Washington plates. I mean, to me, the case is, I mean, I can't imagine anything more obvious. And I think law enforcement has a ton of stuff that they are going to be bringing out at some point. I don't think we really have 383 people watching. I think that's one of those glitches again. I think we have 283. If there are 300, hit that like button right now. That says 440. It says 440. Hit that like button. Come on and hit that like button. Hit that like button. 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button. 40, 40, 45, 50, 60. Use your nose. Use your toes. Whatever blows. Hit that like button. You can do it. Yeah, there aren't 440 people watching. It's one of those YouTube glitches that they like to put in there. Let's see, or it's a troll putting in. There isn't 440 people watching. Guarantee you. It's one of those, a bot that somebody put in. And they're trying to do that to try to affect my channel, but YouTube said it doesn't affect that. They just remove any of the subs from it. So doesn't help, doesn't work for them. They're already aware that I've even shown them screenshots of these weird spikes and stuff, so they're monitoring it. Can't see anyone with a half brain seeing he's innocent. Let's see, what do we got here? We got Amber Maiden just sent me a coffee, and then we've got very kind PayPal. Do we get a couple? One from WNC Granny earlier, and then one from Martina, and then Desiree. So thank you, appreciate it. So many freak cat lovers. Yeah. All right, so what aspect of this do you guys want to talk about right now? Yeah, there's no way there's 600 people here. I know how it works. Like if I went to viewer activity, well, let me show you this. Look right here, watch. See that? Does that look normal to you? And then like that. See how, and then watch in a little bit it'll go down and then it'll have another one. It's just not normal. Why are you scared to talk, Hannah? I hate when people type that in. It's just so ludicrous, you know. That's why, Gray, because you made a comment. Well, then don't make the stupid comment like that. Just talk. Just say something. Hey, welcome, Kelly. I have a question for you, Gray. I'm certain BK is guilty and... Okay, great. Welcome to the Freak family. Freak fam, Kelly. Thank you. Come on, Hannah. Just type it in, for God's sakes. What do you want to know? Wow, look at that. We've got a gifted membership by Elizabeth Brown to the Silver Leaf. Yeah, if you send a PayPal in, I think if you send in, you know, anything over 30, but $30 is what it costs to buy the notebook, the pen, the poker chip, and the stress ball. All right, you just send it to my PayPal, and then that person who sent me one, as long as that address, I'll send it there as long as the address is correct. See, now it says there's 712 people watching. I don't think that's legitimate. All right, everybody who just got here, hit that like button right now. Let's see if that's true or not. Oh, you mean to the Papa Rogers? That did seem like a pretty good option that would be him, right? Yeah, I think it's just somebody bought one of those bots, you know, but it doesn't affect anything. I talked to YouTube about it. That they keep doing this. They're wasting their own money. What idiots. Yeah, I always thought that Papa Rogers could actually be them. We'll throw it out. Could be a channel. I don't think it's a channel raid. It's not real though. It's like bots, you know. If they were real people, they'd be commenting saying, "Hey, I just came here from so and so," you know. No, but it doesn't do that, Cindy. It doesn't help your channel at all. Those fake bot stuff. It's just, they're meaningless. I already have 2 notebooks, which I love, so please save any more notebooks for me. Oh. I forgot that part. I don't know, raids were a thing. I have had that before. I remember this one guy did that to my channel. He came over. He didn't send a raid over here. Newscrasher. I'm not sure why you even say something like that. Didn't Papa Rogers get debunked because they made a comment around the time Brian was arrested? I don't know. It seemed pretty interesting what they were saying. Papa Rogers, meaning like because it's Elliot Rodger, who is an incel, and you know, like he's the king of incels. He went around and killed these people. I think he killed two of his roommates, and then he went out and started shooting and killing co-eds. I never understood why women are called co-eds. It doesn't make any sense. Oh God, what did I hear today? It was so ridiculous. It was, oh yeah, somebody, I mean, I don't know if you, guess what political party this person was in. They said, I think we need to change the word from manufacture to something else because, you know, having the word man in manufacture just seems kind of too well, did anybody ever think that the word man in manufacture meant anything at all to anybody? What are you talking about? God, this stuff is stupid. Oh yeah, it says manufacturing, so therefore the man in there, it should be woman factoring or facturing. Yeah, it was for real. I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. No, it was an actual audio, Hannah. It wasn't a news I was reading from. It was literal. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I can't find it. It was some hearing where some lady was saying it. It's like, it wasn't somebody on a news channel who said it. It was literally a person at a hearing saying it. I've just asked this a million times before, but I must stay in my brain. Oh yeah, co-ed. I don't know. It's like co-educate. They always call women co-eds in college. Oh, she was a beautiful co-ed. And I don't know. It means like co-educational. I don't know why that we're ever called that. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, Jan Schakowsky. Okay, that was today though, right? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Well, I'm not really. I'm just saying. I don't want to get into a political conversation. But the word co-ed made me think of that. Yeah, it was today. Let's see. Oh. Nah, I don't want to do political. It always ends up bad. I thought co-ed was co-education. That's what I said. Yeah, but they never call the guys co-ed. It's always the women that are called the co-eds. They don't say, oh yeah, look at that. They never refer to boys that way. Ever. I've never seen that. We had to change floor plans to not call the master bedroom. Oh, jeez. I remember that. Right, it's just only been I've never heard it referenced to guys at all, ever. Do you think the IGG will be a big issue for the jury? I think before trial happens, the judge needs to decide what the defenses, what they can say or not. They shouldn't be able to bring up at all that the FBI used a technique that was against the guidelines of the service. It's absolutely irrelevant to the case, but it would be, if you put it in there. See, I always think it's weird when things are deemed to be too prejudicial. It seems to always be in benefit of the defendant. But sometimes I think things are too prejudicial that the defense is allowed to put in the other direction. It's stupid. Like if you were, like the Delphi case, for example, if you were able to bring up these odious and they have no nexus at all, it's too prejudicial against, the defense, the prosecution side. It's stupid. It's something that shouldn't be allowed. And so I always think of that the same, like in this case, the DNA, how it was gained is absolutely irrelevant. The fact that the lead led to DNA that matched Brian Kohberger and the knife sheath perfectly, that's all that matters. I guess, it would have been interesting, however, if Kohberger had signed, he opted out, and they used the backdoor method, and in there, they got a 1-to-1 match right out of GEDmatch, but he had opted out, but they used the backdoor method. That'd be an interesting ruling there, because he had a right. In that case, he opted out. That means he had a reasonable right to privacy against law enforcement use because he opted out of that. But he didn't. He wasn't even in the system at all. They just led to family members that led to the Kohbergers. So I wonder how that would have turned out in that case. It still would just be breaking the guidelines. So is it really it's not really breaking the law, right? Because it's just the guidelines, terms of service. All right, we getting back down to a normal. Okay, that still says, no, it says 751 again. See, look at this is how you know it's bogus. Look at this right here. See that right there? Look at it'll do it again. It'll go like that, and it's just stupid. We're opted into that, then it should be fine. But we're currently still only at about 50%, you guys. So we take the high road chicken wing. All right, I'll maybe be back in a minute here. I'm gonna play my. That's right. Ooh la la. Who the hell's singing that, huh? Let's see. Got trolls in here, Grant. You call people sick because they don't agree with you. God, what an idiot. That judge is a sarcastic little punk. So one-sided. No, I think he's great. He has the whole... Listen, hey, Mark, let me just tell you something right here. Mark wrote, Gray, you call people sick because they don't agree. I've never said that. I don't say that at all. I think it's sick that people sit around and watch a clown and a guy from the UK who make 3 videos a day putting out garbage and you watch it. All right, I think that's sick, right? Not that you sit around, not that you might believe something. It's just sick that you guys, it's just, come on, man. And then he says, the judge is a sarcastic little punk, so one-sided. Well, why do you think the idiot Ann Taylor switched over to that judge, okay? Because she's a fool, all right? And when she got up there and she tried to present stuff the other day, we just played it last night, she was horrible. She made not one good argument. Nothing. It was an embarrassment. Listening to her talk, it was like, oh my God, did she even prepare for this? She doesn't seem to even know what she's doing. I mean, it was weird. Weird stuff. So the judge is sitting there giving her a little bit of deference, like, oh, okay, you know, just trying to help out a little bit. Wow. How horrendous was that? It was so bad. I mean, when you really sit and you listen to Ann Taylor, what she was saying in that meeting, or the hearing, it was awful. I mean, just absolutely terrible. And then her knowledge on the DNA was pathetic. She didn't even know what she was talking about. And the thing is though, and people aren't being intellectually honest. When they're doing their shows and they're saying, oh, God, look at Ann Taylor, ripped him a new one. Do you see what she said here about, ooh, and they just focus all on this blood sample on a glove and a rail. And they forget about just the horrendous performance that she had in there. Right. Things that I want to know is why did there, I think there's got to be, and I think the defense knows these things exist. There's got to be something that led Kohberger to choose that house at some point. I want to know that answer. And then I'd love to see all of their surveillance footage and put it all together. I mean, because I wish I could work for somebody like that and go, hey, give me all of this. I'll put it together in a compelling way so that people, when they see it, they go, oh, wow. See, all you got to do, I mean, it just, when people say that, well, the car, that's his car there, but it's not his car there because you can't absolutely identify it, it's just ludicrous, you know? For example, if you had a room that was completely empty in the dark, it was one little light on, so you get a silhouette, right? And let's say you have a picture of somebody, or video of daylight, and you see them open the door to the dark room and then shut the door, and then inside the dark room you see the silhouette of somebody walking around just after they went into the door, and that's the only person in there. Isn't it safe to assume that the person inside is the person that was just outside and opened the door to go into the dark room? Even though you can't make out it perfectly, right? You can't see it perfectly. All logic dictates that the person who went into the dark room is the same person. So if you have this car driving around the neighborhood, a white Elantra at 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:08, well, you know, it's moving around, it's going this direction, and then another camera picks it up 30 seconds later over here. Do you really think it's reasonable to believe another white sort of Elantra-looking vehicle drove by right then and your car disappeared off the face of the earth? The one that was being followed originally. Yeah, there's an actual clown that people believe in. I mean, what a joke. I mean, really? A clown that you're going to believe in? Like, isn't that just like it's almost an oxymoron? But, let's see. I don't know, you guys. I think we've only been on there for an hour and 58 minutes. I feel like we're not going to get to our goal tonight, so I can try to augment the channel the way I've been trying to do it with other videos. And the way I do that is cut my show short and start working on the videos for the next day, conceptualizing it and try to put it together, because it takes a long time to make those. I'm not sure what's going on and why what's happening, but I've been saying this every single night and you guys don't seem to be listening. I don't know what's happening. Let's see, on YouTube, but you are my freaks and I needed a break from the sadness of true crime. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time. We had lots in our home. Hubby had a stroke. Sorry to hear that, Mile 457 Rose. It sucks. Yeah. It's just, let's see, where are we at? If we take that and then this, got a coffee. Yeah. Guess it's not too bad. I'm gonna try to hang in there for another hour. I guess if you combine everything together, we're still short of a old goal, but yeah. I guess the PayPal and a coffee were pretty good. So there you go. Yeah, where are those bots? How come the bots? We're at 784. Look at, you guys want to see something? Here it is. I'll send this again to YouTube tonight after the show. They're monitoring it. Look at this. And then zoo, look how perfect that is right there. I mean, that's just so, look at how it looks like this. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, like that. That doesn't make any sense. What I should have right now is about 200 and maybe 70, 80 people watching. That's it. Did you see my message on... I didn't see the message. Hold on. I hadn't had time to dig around. I sent the Xana's ants. Oh yeah, I didn't get that. All right, let me check it out. All right, we got Amber. All right, let's see. Apparently, let me put this in here. Jeez, so slow. For some reason it's saved, but then there it is right there. Okay, so this is from who's who in this. Yeah, oh yeah, Natalie says she's my niece. They have told the family. Really? What'd they tell the family? I don't see it. Thank you for sharing, because I had never heard this before. So they believe he ran into Xana's first when he broke into the home, and then continued on to Maddie and Kaylee's room. And then it says something, yes. Thanks for sharing. That's crazy. Oh, there you go. That was my original theory from a long time ago, and that's something I came back to just recently because it made sense. Now that we know that the killer, Kohberger, parks at 408, and then, probably sits in his car for a moment, does some blood spatter, gets prepared for blood spatter. Then he goes into the house. That's right around the 412 time where her phone stopped, communicating with TikTok. So that's interesting, right? So that's what made me think, that time frame, the time frame that she got her DoorDash and the time frame of her TikTok is so close to each other from when he got there that could be when the first interaction took place. And the dog upstairs was merely, the sound of the dog playing was the dog's chain jingling around as it was jumping up and down, probably saw a car back there and maybe even could sense that, dogs, how dogs are, that a person was coming down the hill to get into the house. And then moments after that, you hear Xana say, hey, there's somebody here. Because she's sort of like, maybe she's just down the hallway and notice, maybe she had just dropped off that bag of DoorDash in the kitchen, was heading back down the hallway to go into the living room. It's not really a hallway, it's just that little area where you can get into the living room. And then sees this person coming in and says, hey, somebody's here. And he spots her and then runs after her and leads back to the room because she went to get comfort with Ethan in the room. And then he goes in there, and that's where the first attack happens, and he thinks he killed both of them. Then he goes upstairs and he kills Madison and Kaylee. Then he goes back downstairs again and he hears whimpering sound. And then to keep Xana from overreacting, or whatever, not overreacting, but like screaming or doing something, he says, it's okay. She's probably like, oh, don't do it. He goes, it's okay. I'm going to help you. And then he kills her. And then she was standing up, maybe hunched over, trying to get out of there. And she collapses to the ground. That's why she's able to be seen from the hallway. And that's where the thud happened that shows up on the camera. Doesn't that make sense, everybody? What I just said? I think so. I think it made all the sense in the world. All right. Well, hey, thanks for the coffee. It just says someone. Who was it in here? It doesn't say the name on some of these. It just says someone. Someone just supported. It says, love how you piece things together, Gray. Well, there you go. I just pieced that together. Doesn't that sound almost the most logical, what I just said, of what happened? Xana is awake. She had gotten her DoorDash. She's on TikTok at least until 4:12. That means from 4 to 4:12, she's doing things. He got there at 4:08. So I think that she saw him coming in and says, hey, there's somebody here. And the dog upstairs was reacting to him getting there and going down the hill and just sort of sensing. The dog sensed that there was a person coming in and it was moving around. Maybe even, barked a little bit. Who the hell knows, right? Then, Xana says, hey, there's somebody here. And he hears it. He's right there. So if we go into the house, I'll show you. It's crazy. I'm going to go all the way to the end. All right, so right here, Xana just lives right around to the left there. And then right there's the kitchen. So pretend that he's coming into the kitchen, and Xana maybe is right here, heading back to her room after putting that DoorDash bag in the kitchen. So just think about that. So right here, she sees somebody maybe even approaching onto the cement slab out there, right? And she's right here even and looks back and sees that person. And then as she's continuing this direction, says, hey, there's somebody here. Then Kohberger comes running in, like the video that I put today. He comes running after her around this corner. And now I'll go back over here. So from this position, see, there's the kitchen right there. And Xana's like this. She's running like this. And then Kohberger comes running around and then catches up to him right here and kills. He thinks he kills Xana right in this area. And then, goes into the room and there's Ethan, and then he kills him in there too. Then eventually he leaves there. Then he goes upstairs after I go into Dylan's room, goes up the stairs, and then I have him go into, this is just a walkthrough, right? And then he goes into Madison's room and he kills them here, and then that's how they're found. Then he goes down the stairs, and then when he gets here, that's where he hears the whimpering sound. Okay? You hear the whimpering sound of Xana. Then he goes back into Xana's room and says, hey, it's okay, I'm here to help you. And then he stabs her, and then she falls to the ground again. She was getting up. She was trying to get the hell out of that house. And then she falls to the ground again, and that's the thud. Then after that, he runs this direction and then goes right out like this. Boom. Man, I think that absolutely makes sense. I mean, of course, if the dog sound, whatever, I don't know if that's exactly what it is. I think you could even just get rid of what sounded like the dog being played with. This other information makes sense. If he got there at 4:08 when he parked, he didn't get into the house until 4:10, and Xana's phone stopped being on TikTok at 4:12. But maybe he didn't get into the house until 4:12. I mean, I'm telling you, if you watch the video I made today, it shows you that there's so much time in a 7-minute window. You just sit there and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, watching it, knowing that there's killing, but the killings could have been a hell of a lot quicker than that. Maybe he heard the dog and bailed and didn't get to the other. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that. My original theory was he went in there to kill all the females that were in the house, but it turns out that Kaylee wasn't even supposed to be there, and neither was Ethan, and then maybe all of that threw things off. So there's all kinds of different ways to look at it. Remember how they said the house was the target? So maybe not an individual, but everybody in the house, perhaps. Let's see. I don't think he expected Ethan. Well, of course he didn't expect Ethan to be there. You don't even have to say you don't think. Yeah. He didn't think that Kaylee would be sleeping in Madison's room either. See, you know how when we're conversing here, isn't this more interesting in reality than sitting there going, ooh, now what if that other person, that Brett Kopaka guy, and then this other one, and just keep ruminating about all these crazy things instead of just, listen, let's accept that it's Kohberger because that's where all the evidence is pointing. Now let's discuss how he would have done this. You can actually figure things out. Instead, these other people, they get trapped into this never-ending cesspool of fake suspects that they put together. Never ends. Just keeps going and going and going and going. Yeah, we got another. Look at now. We've got another one here. Look, bing, bing, bing. Hey, it's probably gonna do a couple more, and then you'll see it drop all the way down. I think after the 5th one of these, it'll shoot back down again. We definitely don't have 700 people watching. I can tell you that. How do we avoid defense wounds, especially killing another man? Yeah, well, they were all drunk and in their beds, sleeping. So he may have came in and just killed him. And we don't actually know everything, do we? We haven't heard every single thing that's on the autopsy. We had the one lady said one time some defensive wounds and so forth, but never got into specifics. So we don't really know the answer to that. At the Delphi case, we had the answer. There was no defensive wounds. One security cam on the house would have saved them all. How? How would that have saved them? He still would have got in there. and they would have been asleep and not watching the camera. It would have caught him early, you know, they would have been able to see him, sure. Yeah, we don't really know how the whole Ethan and Xana thing worked. But it sounds like it was probably Xana who said, hey, there's somebody here. That actually makes more sense than having Madison or Kaylee say it, because for them to know somebody was there, they would have to be in their room, and that'd be kind of a weird thing to say, right? Hey, there's somebody here. You'd say, what the hell are you doing here? Who are you? Right? That's what you would say. Now, in my theory with Xana, it makes complete sense, right? That is what you would say. Like, hey, there's somebody here, you know, because you're down the hall, you saw somebody coming down, and they're on the cement slab out there, and then you're letting go, hey, there's somebody here, and then he hears that and then runs in after them. Yeah, Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk were survivors. Bethany Funk wasn't in a very, like, here's the front door, and then that room right there is Bethany Funk's room, and it's right below the living room, so it's not as in a direct audio, you know, line of audio, I guess, from hearing things. But if you go upstairs, and so right now we're standing above Bethany Funk's room right now, okay? Now this over here, you could probably hear some stuff going on, but if you go, so right here again, that's Bethany Funk's room's right below there, but right here is Dylan Mortensen's room. And now this room is right below Madison Mogen's room, like literally right above there is the bed. And so when you go upstairs and right there to the right, that's Madison Mogen's room, and right below here is Dylan Mortensen's room. So when you go back down the stairs, see, Dylan Mortensen's right there on the right. And so just keep that in perspective. Right over here in this wall, that's Madison Mogen's room. So I'm going up backwards up the stairs. And then right behind me, or actually that worked. Wow, that's pretty cool doing it that way if you do it backwards. So if you go backwards, it goes right into Madison Mogen's room. And there they are right there. Yeah, pretty small. Kaylee's room was pretty big. I mean, you know, bigger than others. Wasn't huge or anything. Thanks, Mama 457 Rose. Yeah, Madison's room was tiny. The rest of the rooms weren't that small. And the reason her room is small is because if you go down into Dylan Mortensen's room, let me go back into there. Right here. This room is basically double the size of Madison's room. This room's pretty big. But like right there, there's a wall up above for the bathroom. So you go up the stairs and then look. Right here, see there's a bathroom there? And I guess, you know, so some of the wall makes up the bathroom, and then some, like if you extended it out to this wall, that's how big I think Dylan Mortensen's room is. I guess we could check by going like this. So the second floor, if we get rid of this right here, alright, so take off the roof right there. And see there's a bathroom. I didn't do anything with the bathroom, I just represent a space there. There's no reason for it. It wasn't used or anything. So I guess if what happens if I turn that off? Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to. Let's see. So maybe if I do it like that, you can kind of see through. Yeah, so Dylan's room is right here. And there's the door that comes into it. Yeah, and then if you're going up above, right here, see, like, this portion here is all bathroom. So look how small Madison's room only goes like that. And Dylan's room is basically like this, but on the floor below it. Alright, that makes sense. Hey, that's more than a lot of people there, Mom. 457 in a row, so thank you. You don't have to have a qualifier there. It's okay. I'm just sort of getting into the used to it phase kind of thing. If they strike a deal to take the death penalty off the table, I sure hope they force him to explain all this. Yeah, right. If he does cut a deal, he needs to come forward with, and he probably really wants to put out the information of what he really did. He's probably proud of it. If it wasn't for that missing that little piece of DNA on that button, man, he would have got away with it. Yeah, it is built strangely. That's because it used to only be the 2 floors, the bottom and the next one. Then they built a full, like, remodeled everything and built that 3rd floor with the steps going up to it. What's your opinion about the front door being left? I don't know. I mean, we don't know anything because people showed up there and they started, we don't know what doors were open or anything like that. Nobody really knows. Because people just started showing up at noon and friends and they were opening the door, and how do we know the door was left open? I know we've heard that and stuff, but how do we even know that the room for Kaylee's room the door was even open at all? We don't know if it was open all night. Maybe somebody came up looking and opened the door to see if what was going on, and all they saw was a dog in there, and they left the door open. Then they went over, and the room for Madison's, the door for Madison's room was open. They could see them in there, and we're like, oh shit. And so that's how that happened. We don't know any of that. It's too, a lot of people moving around doing things. All right, so now we got our 5th little spike here. So does that look natural to any of you guys? Like, here we go. We got this right here, this, and then whoosh. Right. All bedrooms should have locks as well. How do you think he came across Madison or whomever he was there for? I don't know. That's what I asked earlier. I'd like to know the answer to that question. And right now, I only have 2,000 total views, so that means those are all, it's fake. Those aren't actual viewers there. There's no chance. I'd have like 6,000. Do you think they'll use something, what you did here, Gray? I hope so. Well, they actually have the Pharaoh scan where they were scanning the room. So I would hope that they would have, like a much, it would be a way better version of it where the bodies are there and everything. It's crazy. What I think they should do at every crime scene, though, is deploy the 360-degree cameras like I have, and do that really first. The new ones out there are so high quality that you could do that first to make sure that you've got that, so you can go back and view it whenever you want. And all you have to do is just kind of slowly walk around the house into every little area. And you can even do it where you leave it on a tripod, get the hell out of the room, then come back in, and then edit out the part where there's a human walking around. And then at the end, you could really, and I would put it into like 100 different spots, and then you'd be able to go back in and observe different elements that you might have missed, and then do a Pharaoh scan, and then you have like a actual 3D model of the entire crime. So that would be pretty cool. But I would start off with one of the 360-degree cameras, because I just got another one a while back that's like for Christmas. It's the Insta360 camera, but it's version 4. So when I was doing this one right here is 3, version 3, and it's really pretty damn good. I mean, you got to admit, like, see, look what it's doing. And when I'm still, look at how much you can see. Look at this. You can look all around in all kinds of different directions. See that? Look at that. That's amazing. And what it is it's a massive image, and every single frame in a 30-second frames a second has that same huge image. The new one it's 8K. This one was 5.6. So it would be even clearer than this one. It's crazy. You just got the X4 also? Yeah, very cool. I think it's 8K, right? That one? Do you think they'll... Hey, thanks, Rome333 said, do you think they'll use something, what you did here with 3D imaging gray in court, since the house is gone? Yeah, you know, one of the things that really bothers me the most is that when people really care that much that the house was taken down, how long does that house have to sit there? Until all the appeals are done too? I mean, to me, it's ludicrous. It was there for 13 months. The defense team had all the time in the world. And then you want to say, well, we got to let them go to the crime scene, Gray. Look at the Pharaoh scan, all the images you're taking. Everyone's going to know the crime scene. You don't have to be there. Whenever there's a shooting in a downtown area, they don't mark it off for the next 2 years while we wait for trial. And then let the jury come out and see it as it was. It just doesn't... nobody does that. It's ludicrous. You know, of course, if the trial happened within 6 months, sure, it's right there, you know. It was an eyesore, a horrible reminder of something, and a hazard. It's just absolutely meaningless. It doesn't seem weird or strange. 13 months, over a year. It sat there. Just think how much money we could earn from selling tours. Yeah, well, that is true. I would, you know, like, to be truthful, if that house was still there and they said, if you pay me $1,000, give me $1,000 gray and I'll let you walk through that whole house, I would do it in a second. You know, I would I would go through there and get my camera out and I'd film every single room. I would do that in 2 seconds just to have it, right? Not to go there as like, ooh, it's a cool little, you know, touring thing. I would pay money to be able to film the entire house as it really was at the time. Not with the bodies in there, of course. I'm just saying in general. Because I want to see what it looked like, you know. And I think you'd get a really good... But yeah, I mean, if they did make it where it was a house that they had up like a museum, I guarantee it would be sold out all the time. People would be going over there. But what a ridiculous reason to keep it open. If they're going to do... but I would pay, like, when it was, you know, month in or something, and somebody goes, hey, you give me $1,000, I'll let you in there. I would have done that in a minute, because when you have that kind of information, you really can make a much better sort of theorize, etc., and see what was happening in there. Man, well, because it's not really testing, Zozo. It's like you got to do the forensic genetic genealogy. It costs like $8,000 or $9,000. There's like a simple test that tells you if it's a male or not. It's not like you got to keep testing it. You have to get the sequence and upload it to GEDmatch and pay somebody to go out and do the family tree. But they should do it. I think the prosecution should hire a lab to try to identify the 2 samples that had blood on them. The other samples are so irrelevant, it's mind-boggling. Who cares? That house was filled with people all the time. You don't understand what? I did a walkthrough with my iPhone of my grandma's house before we sold it. Wish I had the Insta. Yeah. I haven't even opened that box yet. The Insta 360 X3 is pretty good. Pretty good one. I have the X2 also. That one is terrible, but much lighter. You know, so I could put it on my Mavic 2 drone and fly it around. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to. Why would I unbox it? It's just, I don't need to do it. It's not. Well, now it's on the 6th spike here. It's pretending that I have 805 people watching. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get YouTube on right now. Let's see what happens. Let's see what they say. Just for the hell of it. Yeah, there isn't 805 people watching. I can tell you that. Not even close. All right. Channel problem. Next. Other. Next. Next step, chat. Let's see. I guess I do have a specific video, right? So sorry if this is boring for you guys, but I want to do this. Alright, let's see what they say. AI generated responses can vary quality. High minute. Okay. I don't want an AI response. Your chat activity may be used to improve the product. Special. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, cool, David. Appreciate it. Hold on a second. I gotta print screen this thing here. Yeah, they're chatting with me right now. This video is, God dang, just shut up. All right. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I like the new judge too. I bet you Ann Taylor, her biggest regret so far is getting rid of wimpy judge, judge. Okay, guarantee it. This guy actually, I'm a little surprised it's taking him a long time to decide if there's a Franks hearing or not. I think it was really obvious that there's no Franks hearing. Nothing rose to the level of like, wow, the judge wouldn't have, so that should have been tossed out immediately. And then the whole DNA thing, I think, is garbage because all it was a tip. That's it. All right, so they're checking it out. Let's see. All right, now it's dropping down because now they probably realize, oh, he's having somebody look at it now. I liked hearing the new judge's question. Yeah, he was great. Yeah, I mean, he was trying to be polite to Ann Taylor. Like, I don't know how he could have been, it sort of sounds a little condescending, but that's about as good as he could do because her reasoning and logic in her arguments was horrible. Okay, so I don't know if he could have done any better than that. I mean, imagine me trying when some crazy person comes in saying those wild things and being able to get it down to a point of just being a little, cold or condescending, whatever it is, back. I mean, I can't do that. I would be like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. What are you talking about? Yeah, he's always like this. Yeah, okay. Hey, good night, chicken wing. He made a good point. He made a good point that his rights were not violated because they looked up his relatives and not him. Right. Yeah, I mean, there's no violation of his rights at all. But what he's trying to figure out is, does it constitute violating rights by breaking the terms of service of a website? See, what I think it's strange is that the Kohbergers really just want that to be an out. Instead of just realizing, holy shit, his DNA is on that knife sheath, you guys. They want to try to get him off. Like he's going to be their buddy. Hey, Brian, I was always there for you, man. Hey, Brian, listen. Oh, you want me to come babysit? Well, no, I don't want you to come babysit. Hey, but Brian, I was always there for you. If you can give me a shout out, maybe come on my channel one night. We can reminisce about the old days. Now, these people, it's kind of scary. Yep, 310 likes. Let's get those likes up, you guys. Shouldn't a police investigation lift? I don't know what that means by lift when you're saying that. Don't say what, okay? I don't know what that means. Shouldn't a police investigation lift terms of service? You mean like a rise above it, like it sort of is more important than the terms of service? Sure. I mean, the terms of... Oh, Jesus. See, there you go. What? Although, that time she did it just because I said don't type in what. She's just... Oh, my God. You're like Clancy, man. Here we go. Here we go. You probably mean, like, shouldn't police investigation trump terms of service? Is that kind of what you're saying? Is that right? Or maybe lift is how they say it over there in Australia. Do you think BK planted the glove and the blood? No. If anybody did, it was a YouTuber. Because they actually found it there. You know. pretty amazing how it wasn't there and then all of a sudden it's there. I'd be interested to see whose blood that is. Not chatting, then new people came and I was nervous to talk. Hey, there she is right there. There's the one that wrote that long email. Not to hang of it again, wasn't sure because... Yeah, right here, see? Just quit worrying if you're a straw, you throw it in with... Okay, hold on. I appreciate the time given to check on this. Let me share what I found. Okay. What was it? Let's see. The glove was on top of snow. It did not snow until after the murders. Oh, there you go. There you go. And isn't it amazing how a YouTuber found it sitting there? Just amazing how that worked out. They always say the same thing. Upon checking, it actually shows that everything is working as intended. We don't detect any issues or bots on the live stream. That being said, I understand the concern. Let me share some insights. And I said I don't really want to talk about insights. I want you to look at the graph that I sent you. Here, I'm gonna send it again. They're saying it's working, and I'm just there. It's not, man. God, they don't listen. They don't give a shit. These people. Shows everything is working as intended. We don't detect any issues or bots. Okay, well, that's what that is. Yeah, that's the clown. That guy's a complete joke, Rome. So he's just he's done some of the worst stuff I've ever seen in the YouTube. Yeah, maybe he's gotten better, but he was terrible. All right. You don't need to mention a name. Yeah, he's been terrible. I understand it actually shows that everything is working as intended. We don't detect any issues or bots on this live stream. I understand your frustration, but please know that we have thoroughly investigated your request and there is nothing more I can add. I understand. Would it be helpful if I transfer your concern to... Yes. Yes. I'll get back to you here in chat shortly. Okay, well, I guess I gotta wait for somebody else. Yeah. It's weird. These people don't know all the crap that guy's done. You notice how these people don't comment at all, but then they want to all jump in with that person's name? You know? Like David there. He hadn't even commented. Then he jumps in there. Maybe earlier, like a long time ago. Now, don't you remember when he, even after they found the body of Brian Laundrie, he said that this one guy on Twitter was actually Brian Laundrie? And he had all of his little dipshit followers go out and attack this person over and over and over again. Then he was kicked off of YouTube, and then they put him back on for some reason. Who the hell knows why? Then he told everybody that in the Summer Wells case that the dad was actually in a shed, but he didn't want to open it because he didn't want, and then he said that Summer Wells was actually in a dungeon below the shed. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, you guys. It's embarrassing. I don't really know what else to tell you. Maybe he's been better since then. Yeah, but I wasn't thinking in there, Kalisa, as you wrote. I wasn't thinking, boy, who's this person who's never donated? Okay, I don't think like that on here. I just, on my shows, I try to get people to help support the channel. I don't, think, oh, look at, there's a person there. They've never sent anything. I've never thought that way. Okay, so that part wasn't accurate. Let's see. I do remember Summer. That was all. Yeah, he's in a dungeon. I never would know had someone not done their due diligence and passed on the suggestion. For what? What are you referring to? What are you shocked at? I don't understand. Hi, and my name is Emily. I'm a manager here on the YouTube support team. The screenshots that I have sent, those are not normal live viewer. Yeah, and it's all right. So now it's dropping. You notice how it's dropping right now? Now it's shooting down. It's 443, and so it was stuck. Look at how this was working. Look at. How does that look natural? They're trying to make it sound to me, oh yeah, everything's working perfectly. Look at, that's normal, and then it goes just like that. Now it's shooting down again. There's no way in hell. Okay. Yeah, remember that? Interrogated a innocent kid and made him like confess to something he didn't do. Right, yeah. Of course now it's just so great. Nobody cares. The way he depicted why the two survivors didn't hear anything was so... What did he say? Now I don't know why. See, but why did you watch The Clown, Kayla? I guess that's the problem I'm having. Why did you give him the satisfactory of a view there? It's not. There's nothing of value. He has never presented anything of value in the case since it started. Nothing he has said has turned out to be real. I don't know what's going on with you guys. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, what an idiot. That guy spends all this time getting dressed up with his little stitch faces and, you know. Looks like Bart Simpson's head. This, that thing over there. Alright. Yeah, I guess just... I've never watched The Clown. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just so bizarre. And he copies like some of the wording that I use, like when I say boom all the time, so he does it too. You go, boom. You know, so he's like little trolling moves, but it's just, you know. Yeah, it gets a lot of views. People love watching that trash, and there's nothing legit in it whatsoever. But hey, you know, if that's what you like, go for it. You know. That's not called research, though, Kayla. That's not research. It's you're what a ridiculous response. Let's see. I don't even know. It's not research watching that guy. If you're watching him, you're wasting you're completely just looking at something that has no chance of being reality. Okay? It's not research. It's called, you know, I mean, anybody can watch whatever the hell they want to watch. I'm just saying, I don't get it, man. What's the point? Not gonna lie, I watched The Clown too, but when he started saying he was innocent and all the nonsense, I stopped. Well, what made you watch him at all in the first place? I mean, it's a clown, you guys. I mean, if you got a YouTuber that's dressing up as a clown, and what would make you think that the person's going to be putting out information that is reasonable? I think that he is probably an incel in real life and is, you know, making his face look like however it looks so you don't know what he looks like. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he gets real viewers. Who killed the husband on a burn pile? I believe the gentleman is your friend, Gray. I don't know what case you're talking about. Her husband on a burn pile. I don't know. Why would you need to research him? Jesus. Oh, God. I'm still waiting for YouTube to respond. I don't know why it's so hard for them to see that that's not natural. Oh, now it's going back up again. It went down to the 200 and, you know, probably like 300 viewer range. Now it's shooting back up again. And I know it's not natural because that's not what it looks like. A smooth pattern of spikes like that. It doesn't do it. Remember the name. I don't know what case that is. A woman who burnt her husband on a burn pile. I mean, we've had many cases where somebody was burned on a burn pile. I just don't remember that one. I mean, John Lorden, are you talking about? Yeah, I don't mind mentioning him. He's one of the few people out there that I would absolutely defend all the way to the end of whoever was trying to trash him or something like that. I mean, he He's not. He's a normal person. He doesn't make stuff up. I mean, you know, he thinks out a little bit, you know, kind of entertains some conspiracy angles, but usually comes back to the normal. Because he used to have a channel called Brain Scratch that was kind of like looking into weird cases. No, something's a little weird on tonight's show. Okay, Curious. That's a better one. There you go. I'll take that one. No, but he did. I thought it was a parody too, but that's not. He doesn't. He pretends that he's legit. Right. I thought it was kind of a parody at one time too. So I think there's a little bit of something in there, but his people actually believe the garbage that he puts out there. Like when they tore down the house, they said that they could see a tunnel. Because they kept saying that there was a tunnel that Kohberger got into the house, or the killer, not Kohberger, got into the house with. I mean, he's kind of like the first person to start the whole Kohberger's innocent. It's just garbage. And everyone buys into it. I've never heard of the Nefarious case. I'm still waiting for them to come back. Look at it. It went all the way back up again. Look at it. See, it sort of made it back out to almost normal. See? And then look at that. Now it's all the way back up to 736 again. Yeah, I know. That's why you know it's not legit, because it never happens like that. Where it shoots way up and then all the way down, shoots way up all the way down, and keeps doing it over and over again. I'm waiting for them to get back to me. Do you guys like my thumbnails? My last couple thumbnails that I've put out there? I think they're a little bit more sort of catchy where you can see them. What do you guys think? Maybe check them out really quick. Yeah, I like the docket. I mean, he's good at getting documents and things like that. Yeah, I think they're cool. Like the font's kind of neat, you know, just... I would say the last two videos and my last two live streams have had better thumbnails. What would I change it to? I don't know. I kind of want to have one of the words stick out. Maybe I could change it to the same gold that's going around on the outside. I don't know. I mean, what do you mean? Alright. I'm just kind of waiting around for YouTube to get back to me over here. Apparently, that's the first time I've ever had a manager come over. Ever. They usually contact you via email. It says I'm a manager here on YouTube support team. Alright. Cool. The way we're down here in the chat talking mess. Still silent troll viewers this time. No, it's not, Kayla. I've already explained why. Does that look like... Look at how that is just too... I mean, look at... This is what it normally looks like. See how it's kind of jaggedy over here? Here, let me make my head smaller. See over here, it started the show, then it gets up here and it kind of slowly climbed up like that. Like, kind of, you know, that's sort of normal. And all of a sudden it went... And then it goes down, then up and down. And I was like, That's not a natural anything right there. That's not a troll activity. That's more like a bot or some sort of like paying, like somebody paid for, like it went from 712 to 598, then 754 to 589 again. Oh God, 580, 589. You see that? It does look like Bart Simpson, though, doesn't it? His hair. But hey, guys, if you're out there and you want to help support the channel, even during this weird time we're having right now, that'd be absolutely awesome. Thank you. You know, you can always do the copies or the... Okay, she got back. I respect this channel and the free community for never victim blaming and giving into for views. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately though, sometimes I'm relegated to having to cover, you know, like I like covering this case because it's interesting to me, you know, and I'd like to like, you know, cover keep covering it. But at the same time, you got to cover these other cases. But my problem is when I'm here, I mean, it's just I'm struggling no matter, you know, when I do Kohberger or something bigger, I do better at least than on nights that I cover Joe Smith missing person case where I get like 116 viewers and the super chats are like $34 and there's no coffees and the whole, it just, I can't survive on that. So it's unfortunate that, you know, it feels like YouTube has been taken over by sensationalism, and so when you cover something that's not popular, you can't survive. See, I understand that you were concerned about the sudden spike of your, no, it's specific. All right. What are you guys typing in numbers? What do those mean? Nah, I haven't been watching Megan Boswell. I think that case never caught. I mean, I watched it. Remember when it first happened? It just, I don't know, just another sick mother. You know, kind of reminds you almost exactly of what's the other, that case in Colorado? What was his name? With the mother that killed the kid. Just like that one. Right. Well, I got to do I got to do whatever it takes on my channel to keep it going, you know. So, unfortunately, for people who want me to cover cold cases and missing person cases every single day, the lack of support won't allow me to do that. Okay. Yeah, but yeah. Why do I need to type 7? Is that gonna mean something? Yeah, I mean, I like covering the other. I mean, I guess like Zozo said before, maybe I could, you know, at the end of the show talk about those. But I mean, then it's just an hour going over a case where there'll be no support. Okay, so it's like, man, do I take that time or do I spend time making a video? I don't know. It's kind of a hard decision. I used to never have to care about that because you guys are always here, and so that's where the times have changed, type of thing. I keep thinking it's just a temporary thing, but I don't know. I think there's just way too many YouTubers now, and there's just way too many just different people coming up with a bunch of bogus crap, and the people who do the real sort of really looking to try to figure out what the answers are, they get left in the dust of sensationalism. Hey, wow, thanks GSU PM and Delaney. Views are algorithmically confirmed to maintain fair and positive experiences for content creators. That's just, come on. Are accurate. We may temporarily slow down, freeze, or change your view count and discard local. See. Hey, thanks, Moofies. Let's see. So what are these numbers for? Anyways, thank you so much up there. That was very kind. Well, YouTube is not going to give you a straight answer. You're probably just chatting with... Nah, I don't think so. Let's see. Alright, what do we got here? Lucky 13, 14, 15. What are you guys doing? Alright, I've just gotta... Alright. Alright, let's get up to 20 and donate. Yeah, there you go. If you get up to 20, donate 20. Let's do it, everybody. Hey, can I put in 17 then? Can I put in 7? What does that mean? Tell us about your trip to Idaho and what all you went to see, what you learned. Okay. Let's see, well, I went to Idaho twice. So I went there in September and then December when they tore it down. I think the December trip was better because it was more what it looked like at the time. The summer trip was kind of crazy because there was a whack job that jumped out of his apartment. And he was the apartment manager and said, "You're trespassing, give me your phone." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And then he chased me around in his car. He was an absolute nut job. Alright, looks like I'm done with that. So they've got the information. They're going to get back to me. Alright, cool. So, but great. Yeah, so, you know, it's kind of eerie when you're there. I mean, you can see it right here on this is what it looks like. I mean, let me just do this kind of slow so everybody can see, you know, the whole thing. Why does it go way over there? I don't understand that part. Like there's these weird graphs in here. Well, thanks, you guys. Jeez, what happened? Elizabeth Brown and Luke Stedman and GSU PM again. Holy crap, you guys. I'm not sure. How do I get rid of this crap? This looks like... Alright, is this just... What is this stuff right here? Alright. Just look at it. It's creepy out here. You know? Like this is way up in the air. Oh, look at that. And Alex gifted 5 memberships to Tim Harris, Alexander, Wendy V, Loba, Sunshine Susie, Steffi. Welcome, man. Thank you, guys. Wow. Right there. So there you go. Look at how perfect that view is right into Madison Mogan's window. And then, you know, like if you just move it a little bit more, so I'm going to be walking, watch. See this? Look at it. So just look at that. It's simple. I kind of like that idea the other day with a car parked right here, and then they just walk down this short bank. But look, even here, you just go down the bank and you're right there. And this is actually a day before this was torn down, this right here. So I was one of the last people to film this place. Anyways, thank you guys. That was very kind of you guys. See, look how steep everything is. It's no joke out here. Like this right here is way higher than it is down there. It's probably 15, 20 feet. And then just look at it like that. And then see how it goes way up there like that. And this is apparently where they think it turned around. And remember they were looking for that rubber that was on the ground there. And look how there's just so many people around. Very dense of homes, and you got right in there. And then right up there's where a surveillance shot is that picks up the car coming in like this. We don't have that. I have a sample, but not at the right time. And then right over there is the Sigma Chi fraternity where Xana and Ethan were. Oh, that'd be brutal driving up there in the snow if you didn't have studded snow tires and it was icy, you could forget it. Amber's been here. Now she probably wouldn't be miserable with her jaw, which is cool. I think she went there, I think we were on a cell phone or something. She went down to where the grub truck was. See, there's the street. That's see that vehicle back there? That's kind of like how Kohberger's car would be driving, but then it turns onto the street right there. Man, you gotta love these 360-degree cameras. My God, I mean, look at how useful this is. Like, you can get the view. If you zoom in a little bit, it's more natural. Like, you can go like that, and it looks crazy. See that? Like, really weird little planet. Like that one. I mean, that's basically the whole image, kind of. But if you zoom in, it really looks kind of natural, but you can look around in all directions. Okay, you want me to type in a number? I don't know what you guys are doing with the numbers, but hey, there's one. It is. They only cost like $400. You know, they're not. It's not like a ludicrous amount. I think it's pretty reasonable for something so amazing like that. And it comes with, you know, just download this Insta360 Studio and download your files off of your phone, and boom, it's right there. It's simple. Did we go there at this? We didn't go there at the same time though, right? You were supposed to, I think, one time. I think I'm going to go back out there in March. Do you want to meet up over there? Maybe I'll bring one of my kids out there again, or both of them. You know. I just call them my kids, even though they're my wife's biological kids, but, you know, I think of them like that. Yeah, where they did the drone, where we were was right there. That's where they let us set up to fly the drone over there. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I think like we should do it in March. Yeah, he was riding shotgun. Genesis was. That's he doesn't smoke. He's smoking a vape. I guess that's what he did when, you know, in the Philippines, was smoke a lot of vape. But now he quit doing it. Thank God. He said there isn't really much to do over there. You just kind of hang out, and there's not a lot of jobs, and it's like, Jesus. Over here, you can, you know, even doing work that isn't the greatest, you know, you can make 20-something an hour, you know. Of course, everything's a hell of a lot more expensive. Yeah, I think the one thing that was just how hilly it is right in that spot was weird. And then we drove way out. On the probable cause document, it shows a route that they sort of drew on there, and you can do something that looks very similar to that. So we drove that one. It's way out in the middle of nowhere. And I think that might be why he turned his phone on, to see how to get across and navigate across in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, he works at Albertsons in the deli and makes, like, I don't know, right around 20. But Portland's different, you know. It's like we have state income tax. We've got all kinds of Multnomah County. We got all kinds of taxes over here. Which sucks. I've actually thought of moving to like Texas or Florida or something. And if I did, I'd be right near where all the the crimes are all over there. Hardly anything happens over here. We have had a few of them in Idaho, right, with Lori and Chad Daybell, and then we had this one, and did anyone ask you what you were doing with the camera on your head? I didn't have it on my head. I just had it in my hand on a stick. Look, watch. I'm right there. See, that's me right there. I don't have it on my head. Yeah, but I'm just showing you what it looks like walking around. That's me right there. So. Yeah, we have to do the idiot pay for the homeless people in Portland tax. I mean, it's just we have such stupid, and have to pay for everybody's preschool, and in Portland and Multnomah County, preschool and the homeless people tax. Then I have state income tax, then federal, it's just garbage. And even with that, in the last 5 years, out of the income, $230,000. That's pretty good. I could probably just do it with like a Velcro or something. And I'm sure they have helmets that have a 1/4-inch screw at the top that you could put on, but I think when you look kind of weird wearing a helmet. But look, I got you the whole area here, every bit of it. So it's like this 360-degree one-shot take is everything. Shows you where the house is, shows you around the Willanta Drive, shows you where the fraternity was. Goes back behind 500 Queen Road right here. That building in front of us is number 52, where in the probable cause document it even says that it turned around there. So that means they obviously have that Linda Lane footage off this building right over here. And then we see it coming in and turn around right there, right by that car. Goes straight in and backs up, goes back out, and eventually comes back around. And this is this little narrow gap that it goes through. There was nobody else driving around that night except him right then. Maybe one car here and there. And then up right here. So look how high this is compared to, down below there when you're just entering in onto King Road. We're still having trolls show up in here? Yeah. Oh, that's not a troll comment. Yeah, he says he's innocent, right. I know he says that. He says it all the time. He's been saying that forever. And I can tell you this. This is just like the Delphi case. If somehow at trial he's found not guilty, they'll never investigate the case again, because Kohberger is the killer in this case. There isn't another person. Well, there you have it. There you have it. Yeah. See right there onto that deck from right there. So if you just pulled into right there, think how perfect of a view that would have been. You can probably get a simulate it a little bit if you just move this back. Let's see where that is. No, a little bit more. There you go. Look at that. Every time he goes around on that loop, he just parks right there, looks right into there, sees what's going on, and finally when the lights are off, it makes one last trip around and then comes back. That's it. That's it right there. All right. Awesome. Anyways, hey, you guys, happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there for tomorrow. All right. If I could give you all hugs, I would do it. You guys are awesome. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Remind me, do we know how he came to target them? No. We don't have the... I think this is a case that law enforcement has a treasure trove of other information. That this case is nailed, and she knows that, and she is... when I say she, I mean Ann Taylor knows that, and she is really just sort of doing her due diligence, trying to work through various angles to say, I tried this and I tried that. And then I think there's a possibility that he might even plead guilty. And that would kind of suck in a way, but I think it would be a great outcome. Not only would it shame the shit out of all these people, because that's him admitting that he did it, not that a trial did it and they could say, he didn't do it. Or we could have another idiot that says,
You pieces of shit got to the jury, didn't you?
Yeah, you could have somebody that said, oh yeah, they got to him. They had him confess. It's a false confession. When he pled guilty. No. Yeah, I think it'd be great. Like if he pled guilty, it would. I would think that he'd have to there'd be a hearing or something where we got to hear, what happened, etc. Be sort of interesting if the prosecution came forward with the information that they had. I think that'd have to be part of the deal. I mean, it would save the families from having to see some of the most horrific images they'd ever see. There's no reason. It would suck for them to have to see that. And you notice he didn't plead not guilty. Remember that he was silent, meaning, oh shit, they might got me on something, but if I say I'm not guilty, maybe this will help me out. I guess it's some positive thing they kind of try to say. It's in August. Mm-hmm. All right, you guys. I think that's going to do it. I've been on there now for 3 hours and 26 minutes. You guys did it, man. You got me in here. Let's see. Maybe I'll donate. I'll give some memberships. Let's see. What do we got here? Because of your guys' generosity. Membership gifting. Here's 5. There you go. And we didn't make it to the goal number that I normally do, the 5, but at least you guys made an effort to get close to it. And we got A. Bennett. Do I know who that person is? Oh, weird. You can't click on those. Hallucinogenic Recipe, Kimberly Gabaldon, Lucy Day, and In the Pines. Yeah, that was a pretty fun show tonight. Thank you up there to Khaleesi Kiki. You should make yourself available to get a free membership. You got to click on that thing and make yourself available. But thanks for your email. That was a good one. I think you nailed how I feel, for sure. Alright, so thank you to Eden Fox for becoming a new member, then Cheryl, then Cheryl again, and then Alley Cake, Michelle H., Chicken Wing, Madeline Brewer, Richard Watts, Mothra, Godzilla, King Kong, Timothy Cecil, Mothra, Allie Kohler, 11 months, GSU PM, Mama 457 Rose, Kathy Shiflett, Allie Cake, Sarah Austin, Uniquely Susie, retired hospice RN, Amber Maiden, Mama 457 Rose, Sarah Austin, K Me, Moofies, Random Bogey, Moofies, Kitty Meow, Elizabeth Brown, then Sarah Austin, Kitty Kitty Meow, then these are all new members. Then Kelly also became a new member. Then Elizabeth Brown gifted a membership. Mama 457 Rose, Luke Stedman, Rome 333, Elizabeth Brown, David Edwards, Mama 457 Rose 28 months, Delaney, Moofies, Luke Stedman, Elizabeth Brown, GSU PM, Alex gifted 5, then I gifted 5. Then we had, let's see, WNC Granny earlier on a PayPal. Then we had Kate on a Buy Me a Coffee, very generous one. It's like a can of coffee. And then Tito on the Buy Me a Coffee. Then Desiree, Martina, and WNC Granny. That was the PayPal. Then we had Amber on a coffee. Then someone got me a few cups of coffee. Doesn't say a name. And then I think that's it. All right. Oh wait, no, yeah, it was Tito. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, I appreciate that, and it was, I don't know what happened there, how you guys got me to the goal there, but that was pretty cool. Liked as always before I even heard Gray's voice. Yep. All right. Thanks, everyone, and good night. Well, anyways, thanks, everybody, for being here, and thanks for hanging out while I was communicating with YouTube. They did get me to a manager like I did last time, and so maybe this one we'll be able to communicate. We'll see how it goes. But all right. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying the Idaho 4 coverage. I might make more videos on the case, but maybe, the live streams, we could just do a couple of those a week or something. I don't know. I just want to make sure that I feel like when I wasn't covering the case, that the case wasn't being represented by the actual normal side that's going to be correct in this case. It's been covered by a bunch of like unethical people that have no problem finding content, because as soon as you pretend somebody's innocent, you can start claiming anything and make a video on this and that and this and that and the other thing, and you can just keep making videos on it. And so I'm doing this to show you that, if you just kind of stay in the lane of rationality, who knows what trial will bring. There's always a little bit of different things that come out, and a lot of times in the prosecution's case, I think it'll be way more damning stuff than we already have. Yeah, the Kohberger cult. They're like angry people, really angry at if they're like, oh my God, how could you be so clueless, Gray? My God, you're just, what? Clueless about what? What are you talking about? None of these people ever come up with something that's even remotely rational. It's just, feelings and, this one guy, Brent Kopaka, whatever the hell his name is. Anyways, thanks, everybody. It is. It's weird. I think it's actually worse than Delphi, Zozo. What do you think? I mean, don't you see the sheer numbers that show up in the comments, and they're all over the place? Delphi has the same types of lunacy people, and they're still out there. Oh, Kohberger got screwed.
You pieces of shit got to the jury, didn't you?
I mean, that's a real comment by an actual human being. Literally after the verdict came in, that was his first thought. You pieces of shit got to the jury, didn't you? Who? Who got to the jury? Who the hell are you talking about? Yeah. We'll open the eyes of those who are... Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how I help the true crime community, is I'm that other place where the rational people can go. So it seems like when I disappear, it's just sort of like, lunatics in an asylum. And they will get interviews with it. Yeah, well, they want to date. There's a lot of women out there that want to date Kohberger. You can tell. They act like they're his boyfriend. They act like Kohberger is, their boyfriend, and they're going to defend him at all costs. And they just go overboard defending a psycho who killed 4 girls. Now, they probably don't like the girls. Oh, how dare those girls? It's just the weirdest thing you've ever seen. Right, and then people always say, Gray, just like in the Delphi case, Gray, he's innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, we know he's innocent until proven guilty, but I'm not a court of law. My opinion is, unequivocally, Brian Kohberger is 100% the killer. I have no doubt at all. There is nothing that I go, oh, well, I just, Brian Kohberger is the killer, all right? I have no doubt whatsoever. Now, at trial, if something came out and shattered that paradigm, like I literally, oh my God, I would change my mind. I just don't see that happening. There's nothing. His DNA was on the night sheet. His car was driving around. He admits to driving around. His attorney even said that his car was right there. Kohberger is the killer, you guys. There is no doubt. And I wish other people had that same type of conviction. And I don't have to, so these people keep saying he's innocent until proven guilty all the time. Yeah, we know. Did you say the same thing when OJ was on trial? Well, no, that's different. No. Now, he hadn't been tried yet, but you said that he was guilty, didn't you? You know he did it. Did you say the same thing with Casey Anthony? We all know that she did it. Tot Mom, she did it, right? But we all said, yep, she did it. We didn't go, great. See, it's all about what's ever politically correct. There isn't a soul out there that when they were going after Casey Anthony, there isn't one human being that said she's innocent until proven guilty. And I can tell you, they didn't say the same thing in the Justin Ross Harris case. I guarantee you, don't tar and feather him. He's innocent until proven guilty. Though everybody went after that guy. Turns out he wasn't guilty of that. But literally, I predicted that he should have been found not guilty. They had him on malice murder, and the Supreme Court overturned the verdict in that case because it was such bullshit in that case. That was one of those ones where I'm not going to go into it. I think we gotten a few new people that just found us because we are one of only. Yeah, we're it, you guys. This is it right here. I think I'm the only live streaming YouTube channel that believes Brian Kohberger 100% is the killer. Okay? There you go. I'll deal with that. And when it's all said and done, you remember where you heard it first. Don't give those guys an out. Don't go on their channel and say, well, I really still appreciate your coverage day in and day out, 3 videos a day, saying how innocent he was. It was so great. You were on target, but you were wrong the entire time. But I still love you, man. You're the greatest. Screw it. All right? Screw it. But I can tell you in this case right here, if Kohberger is found not guilty, which doesn't mean he isn't guilty, it means he's found not guilty, it will mean that they will never investigate the case again. Just like in the Delphi case, Richard Allen answered all their questions, and they would never have investigated again. It would be case closed. They just didn't get the verdict that was justified. What are the numbers for, by the way? All right, anyways, that was it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. And as I always say, until next time. Oh, yeah, you can guarantee you that Andrea Burkhart, Mada, all the other defense attorneys are all going to be pro-burgers. Every one of them. No doubt about it. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. And as I always say, until next time.
You pieces of shit got to the jury.
I just kidding. Till next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector.
The projector, I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get you, wanna stretch you, if you try to me like a projector. Crime sector
Is my nectar.
Authentic Ray's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak collector, and I'm always gonna be a protector.
Fool the
Vector,
interceptor.
and I'm neither a respecter with a vector. All inspector with a spectre. Just remember,
I have a temple for
conjecture. I have no agenda. I'm a pretender, and I'll send it to you straight without a blender.
And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Gosh, Mary Lou, you're really singing there tonight. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Yeah, I have Mary Lou singing to Old MacDonald Had a Farm, the rap. Or some song that sounds like that. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, but you guys can't tell in the background. All right, thanks everybody. See you later.
We are all Richard Allen!
Oh, God.